struggles of this Duke season. A bright spot has certainly been running back Mateo Durant. He's now 27 yards away from that 1,000-yard rushing mark, which will be the first of the David Cutcliffe era. I spoke with Durant this week, who told me that milestone means a lot to him. He said it's a testament to his hard work and development, and also his offensive line and coaches. Now, guys, they will be hard-earned yards today against a Pitt defense that wants to stop the run, but as Coach Cutcliffe told us, this is a very determined athlete, and they'll get him the rock as much as possible.
Jalen Stinson on the return. The Blue Devils won the toss and elected to receive. Stinson to about the 17-yard line, and that brings Gunnar Holmberg to the field here for the first time today, the grad student from Wake Forest, North Carolina, who has had a pretty good year. He and Kenny Pickett tied atop the ACC standings, Roddy, in completion percentage at almost 70%.
Yeah, but he's coming off a rough outing last week, 10 of 18 for 110 yards against Wake Forest, so looking to bounce back.
Mateo Durant is the single back operating with Holmberg. The Blue Devils in all royal blue, and here is Durant out beyond the 25 before Patrician wraps him up. Plum Branch, South Carolina is the hometown of number 21, Mateo Durant. Taylor gave you the numbers in terms of 1,000 yards. He's second in the ACC behind the explosive Sean Tucker at Syracuse in yards per game. And he is sixth nationally, Roddy.
Yeah, he is. He has been a real bright spot in the league this year.
Second down and short, and Holmberg on a long count. And Durant, a quick hitter again, right in the middle. Baldonado, one of the defensive ends, 87, is the first Panther there.
It's a Duke team that's, as we mentioned, they're going to establish the run and then try and open up the pass game. But while that run game's going, they're going to really stick with it.
And here's Holmberg's first throw of the day, and caught on the perimeter. That's Eli Panko with the catch shy of the 35-yard line against Marquise Williams.
Gunnar Holmberg takes a shot. As you see, we've got a player down on the field. Looks like Keyshawn Camp, the defensive tackle.
Yep. They tend to camp. We take a break early in Durham.
A big bow box says a lot about a person. Like they have a mighty hunger, a powerful.
And a look here, Roddy.
Yeah, you got a guy trying to cut off the backside, cut the defensive tackle, just gets rolled up on. Pat Narduzzi was not real happy that the fact that you didn't get a chop block called or a clipping called.
Right. So second and short here for Duke. Still on the opening drive of the game, Durant tries to surge, and he'll be close to the first down. I think he got it cracking the 38-yard line. Duke comes into the ball game in what's been a very, very difficult stretch of conference games here for the Blue Devils. They're ninth rushing the ball at 158, or 5th rushing the ball at 197.5. But Roddy, they're averaging nearly 50 yards less against the league running the football.
Well, yeah, I mean, the numbers that they put up against teams like Charlotte, against like Kansas early in the year really buoyed those numbers.
Yep. So here's Holmberg.
Got off.
And the Blue Devils just kind of being very disciplined about their approach here early. Quick throw, and the catch made by Bobo, and boy, Eric Hallett got there quickly to minimize that. In fact, might have taken him down behind the line.
I think the ball came out, Wes.
Is it out before he hit the ground? Is the question.
I believe it was.
Baldonado's come out of there with it.
Got the play on the inside.
Oh, that
yeah, the ball's
out.
definitely on the ground.
Ball's out.
Jake Bobo's kind of got it between his legs, but who has control of it? Couldn't really tell.
Duke's quickly broken the huddle and gone to the line of scrimmage here, trying to get it snapped, and they do. Holmberg looking to throw, and Bobo the catch. And Patrician able to grab his feet, but a first down for the Blue Devils to the 49 on a 9-yard throw.
So if you're wondering why that wasn't stopped for a replay, without a clear recovery by Pitt, there's no need to really stop it no matter what. So Duke gets the ball back.
And the Blue Devils building some momentum here early at Wallace Wade Stadium. Holmberg cuts it loose again. Bobo another catch. Hallett will shove him out of bounds. at the 37-yard line. Roddy, let's go back to the Bobo catch, though, of controversy.
Yeah, so the ball's definitely out, and then the question is there a clear recovery? It kind of looks like Hava Baldonado has it, but you know, I don't know that there's enough there to overturn it on replay.
Holmberg dumps it. That's Jarrett Garner, the catch. The junior from outside of Charlotte with his 8th grab of the year. Damari Mathis puts the stop to him, and Duke's now all of a sudden being very deliberate early, Roddy, creating a little tempo as they get later in the possession. Going back to
the fumble that we just showed, like I said, I don't know that there's enough on replay to overturn it, but I think it would have been worth stopping and taking a look because you had the clear fumble and there was a potential for a clear recovery.
Durant with blockers, a first down before Savasier Dennis makes the tackle on an 11-yard throw, and true to his word, Raquan Boyette, who's one of the co-offensive coordinators with Jeff Ferris, told us yesterday, you're going to see Durant more as a receiver than a runner, or as much as a runner, I guess. First down play there. Now Durant on a little delay, and he'll be taken down inside the 15. Brandon Hill the stop.
I like the rhythm that Duke has gotten into. You get excellent blocking up front on this play by the offensive line. And then Mateo Durant just gets out of an arm tackle and is able to get around the corner. But it's been Duke has done a nice job with some quick hitting runs and then mixing in the pass game as well.
Jordan Waters is coming to the ball game as the running back to spell Durant. And he will pick up maybe a couple of yards toward a first down. It'll be 3rd and short here. Duke, who has struggled, just 1 touchdown their last 8 quarters of play, Roddy. Trying to put a flag in the ground early at home.
Yeah, they certainly are. This has been it's been a tough offensive go of it. Finishing in the red zone, a big part of what Duke has been focusing on. We had them against Wake Forest last week, and they got inside the 10-yard line, had to go for it down 14, but couldn't convert, and then it was a tough slog for the rest of the game.
Yep. And here is a red zone possession for the Blue Devils, and Waters breaks through, and a fumble the ball. Is it out? Will be the question. I think they're going to mark him down. It'll be 1st and goal, but there is a point of discussion here.
Yeah, I think this comes down when that left elbow hits. This comes out when that left elbow hits. Yeah, clearly the elbow is down.
Marcus Woods, the referee today. 11th play of the drive for the Blue Devils, and Durant's back in. You see the pistol set with Holmberg and the 2 wings. And here's Durant crashing through to the 1. Well, Duke on the year, 74%. That is 14th in the league.
That's 74% scoring. Touchdown-wise, it's even worse than that, obviously. Tough time scoring touchdowns when they've gotten inside the 20.
Durant fumbled it. The ball is out, and Pittsburgh scoops it up. And it looks like Brandon Hill ended up with the football. A red zone turnover for the Blue Devils.
And it's a fumbled exchange between Holmberg and Durant. I'm not sure Durant ever had it. It starts to come out right away. And then the ball's just kind of caroming around. It pops out. And Duke, once again, you're on the 1-yard line. Put the ball on the ground for the 2nd time in this drive, by the way. And Pitt recovers this one.
John Morgan had it. Brandon Hill ultimately ends up with it. So off the 24-yard line, here is Kenny Pickett and the Panthers opening possession. And on the end around, here is Shockey Jock-Louis trying to turn the corner. And he gets thrown into the Duke bench area by Leonard Johnson.
Now the Duke defense has to do something that it hasn't been great at the past few games, and that's respond when you have some offensive woes, some offensive missteps. This is where you need a stop for your defense to try and stem that momentum.
Kenny Pickett on a straight drop, now going to launch it downfield. There's Jordan Addison. It's caught at the 35-yard line of the Blue Devils.
He gets one-on-one against Nate Thompson. This is going to be a matchup to watch all game long, and it's nothing fancy. Just run by the nickel. And with one safety in the middle of the field, Kenny Pickett drops it in. Duke plays so much man-to-man coverage. Jordan Addison's going to be in the slot almost all the time. That matchup is going to be one that Pitt will probably be able to take advantage of all day long.
Here's Pickett now trying to dodge a little pressure. Fires it to Jacques Louis. The catch inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. Jalen Alexander the tackle. You get to see Jacques Louis today because Jalen Barton and Taysir Mack not available for Pat Narduzzi, and boy, David Cutcliffe's huddling with his group. Israel Abanikanda inside the 20 to the 15. First and 10 coming for Pittsburgh before Nate Thompson made the stop on a 14-yard run.
Excellent blocking up front, opening up a big hole, and then Abanikanda is a big, strong running back, going to break those arm tackles, get in the secondary.
You see Addison in motion. Here's Pickett. Quick throw on the perimeter and off the hands of Jordan Addison.
I tell you what, though, Wes, I absolutely love that call from Pitt. It's something that we saw from Alabama in the national championship game with Devontae Smith. You know you're getting man-to-man coverage. You do that return motion, that return orbit motion, and this was wide open if you were able to catch the ball. You had two blockers out front. Thompson was trailing from the inside. That's a great call by Mark Whipple, and you see Pitt has a really good idea what Duke's going to do.
Here goes Abanikanda trying to make a man miss, does, and will fight toward the 10 before he gets knocked back. Roddy, with all the attention on Pickett and all the attention on Addison in particular in terms of throwing the football, I've been really impressed with the next year that Abanikanda has had.
Yeah, really, you can say that about all these running backs. Abanikanda, Vincent Davis, who we'll see, and Rodney Hammond have all had nice years.
Here's Pickett on a play fake. Moves around the pocket, throws wide open in the end zone. The touchdown for Jared Wayne.
I think you saw in that drive the efficiency that this Pitt offense is operating with, the level that they're playing with, the confidence overall. And that was sort of a busted play. Jared Wayne runs his first route. Kenny Pickett escapes to his left. Wayne breaks to the corner. There's nobody there. Duke loses track of him.
Sam Scarton to add the point. Pittsburgh on the board here with just ahead of 7 minutes to go in the period, and the kick is good. Well, the defense produces an opportunity when it looked like Duke might try to get the early advantage, Roddy.
Duke on the 1 yard line, fumbles the football. It gets kicked around a little bit, and Pitt picks it up, and then it ends. Jared Wayne coming out. He sees his quarterback scrambling, works back, makes the catch for a touchdown. Kenny Pickett on the board for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
Eat fresh, refresh at Subway.
You know, I was never a fan of the darker gold and the navy blue, but when you get to see James Conner carry the rock, by the way, James Conner affectionately named the Terminator by our friend Dave Archer, Roddy. Yep. And then the touchdown vulture, Thomas Sirk, the game winner in double overtime, 51-48 at Heinz Field, and it's already 7-0 in favor of number 25 Pittsburgh. Here is Jalen Stinson as the return out to the 28-yard line, and that's where Duke will start their second possession. Boy, the heartbreak of the Blue Devils seeing Holmberg and Durant drive this team to the doorstep on the opening drive before the fumble, which was Duke's 6th of the year. I'm sorry, 10th fumble of the year. And now the single season rush leader at Duke is Mateo Durant with 1,000 yards. First time in David Cutcliffe's tenure. You see that, Steve Jones, Robert, how about the great Chris Douglas in the early 2000s? So here is Durant, going clearly over 1,000 before Cam Bright, the linebacker, hits him there.
You know, Duke has kind of gone to these quick-hitting trap plays with Mateo Durant early in this game, and they're having success. It's a quick-hitting play where you get a guard pulling, kicking out the play side defensive tackle. They figured out something there.
Second down, Durant again. And it looked like that time Phil Campbell got involved, and Tyler Bentley is a redshirt junior from Westchester, Ohio. Big 92s factoring into that defensive line. Remember, Camp got hurt early, so Bentley, 92, plays with Cansey inside.
Jake Bobo is going to be in the slot to the bottom. Look for it going to 19.
Here's the third down throw. Holmberg. That time Dalmolin, the tight end, holds on across the 40 for the first down. Brandon Hill takes down Nicky Dalmolin, the sophomore from Cumming, Georgia, making his 10th catch of the year.
And in talking to Raekwon Boyette, the co-offensive coordinator, he said he and Jeff Ferris were looking to keep Gunnar Holmberg doing what he does best. These short to intermediate passes are where he excels.
And here is Holmberg going to take the deep shot. Coming back to make the catch is Eli Panko. Big play for the Blue Devils in the throw game here.
Right as I say, short to intermediate is where he excels. He throws a great jump ball out to Panko down the field. Holmberg responding after that first drive mishap.
27-yard throw. Now here's Bobo on the swing pass, and a shoe top tackle handled in the perimeter by P.J. O'Brien.
Check out this catch by Panko. Going up, snagging the football against A.J. Woods, high pointing it. You have to do that against Pittsburgh. There's so much press coverage. It's usually press quarters, kind of turns into press man when you get down the field. You got to make plays downfield against this Pitt team.
Second and long here. Holmberg kind of going through his progressions. Now will tuck and run, and collared around the top by Chris Maloney. Kind of the field end, if you will, in this defensive set for Randy Bates, their defensive coordinator. So you've got Maloney and Baldonado teed up as the ends here. Well, Duke's had some opportunities offensively, Roddy. They've moved it well, but they got to cash in here. Holmberg's a perfect 9 for 9 throwing the ball. Here's the 10th throw of the ball game, and there I go again. First miss of the day for Gunnar Holmberg on a ball for Jalen Calhoun.
Not even going to say anything. There's pressure off the field side where he's trying to go with the football, and I think throwing over the blitz is what caused that errant throw. Now we're going to get a field goal attempt out of the Blue Devils.
And Charlie Ham now, Roddy. It's not been easy as of late.
Certainly is not.
7 of 12 on the year, his longest earlier this season against Northwestern. This is 46 yards. Trying to get the Blue Devils on the board here. The kick is away from Ham, and it is perfect. So Duke on the board with the Ham field goal. Little confidence boost here for the young man from Atlanta. 7-3 Pittsburgh when we come back.
Zaxby's Boneless Wings meal couldn't possibly get any better. I stand corrected.
Duke to a field goal, so Pat Narduzzi's team protecting a 4-point lead. 7th season in Pittsburgh. You see the numbers. The Coastal Division champs 3 years ago and trying to get back to Charlotte. 32 wins, by the way. That third most is behind Clemson and Miami. Now, here's the funny thing about that stat. Wake Forest, if you go to 17, is second, right, Roddy?
Yeah, you know, everybody's kind of got their little take on it. But Pat Narduzzi's certainly done a great job, and has to feel really good about his team's chances to get to Charlotte.
There'll be no return. And now the Duke defense back on the field, Taylor, as we get ready to go.
Yeah, guys, down here on the Duke sideline, defensive coaches really emphasizing tempo to their unit, saying, hey, we know they're going to continue to go with tempo. We have to match it as well. They also said, stay plastered to your receivers longer than you think you should. Pickett has a knack for leading his receivers open, keeping the play alive. He wants them keyed in on those two things.
It has been interesting in our coverage this year, Roddy, to listen to defensive coordinators, yesterday Ben Albert of Duke, along with others we've had when covering Pittsburgh, to talk about Kenny Pickett's mobility. And here he is again, and that time Oben got to him, ball out. Duke's recovered. R.J. Oben knocked it loose.
R.J. Oben, number 94 on the left side of your screen, just does a great job slapping down the hands of Gabe Hoy and then continuing to pursue Kenny Pickett. Pickett low and loose with the football, can't do that. Oben does a great job of swatting it out of his hands and creating a turnover for this Duke defense. Taylor just mentioned imploring their guys, stay plastered to your receivers. Great coverage on the back end as well. Helped cause that.
Blue Devils pick up the easy one after one play, and now Holmberg, is he going to try and take a shot? Dumps it to Durant. He's got some help in front inside the 10, and he got chopped down. The hit was made by A.J. Woods, who's shaken up on the play. $17-yard throw, and boy, Woods made the tackle, but may have paid for it.
Talked about momentum shifts earlier, and this Duke defense was going to have a tough time stopping Pitt consistently just because of the efficiency of Kenny Pickett and the weapons on the outside. But creating turnovers like that, that's where they need to live if they're going to be able to keep this Pitt offense from getting in the end zone. As you see Durant wide open in the flat. A.J. Woods goes down low, and you kind of see him grab that left shoulder as he goes down on the ground.
So 1st and goal for Duke at the 6 when play resumes. And with 4:12 to go, they still tend to Woods. Well, we talked about Pat Narduzzi, and you know, Roddy, 14 seasons in here in Durham, David Cutcliffe's team is, man, they're just trying to get back into the winning ways here. It's been a tough month of October for Coach Cut. They went 3-1. But have lost 4 straight since conference play began. And they've lost 8 straight ACC home games. And they find themselves 0-4 for the 2nd straight year in conference play. And he knows it's a production business. He talked to us about it yesterday.
Yeah. It's been a frustrating few years for David Cutcliffe and Duke. And, you know, coming out of 2019, you thought, all right, transfer quarterback coming in and Chase Bryce. If you figure out that position, there's talent around him. 2020, Chase Bryce obviously struggles. The turnovers continue to haunt Duke. So again, you're thinking, hey, if you get the quarterback position figured out, the wins will come. And this year they largely have. They figured it out. Gunnar Holmberg has been very good. The issue is around him, there's been some lapses. Now, Gunnar Holmberg hasn't been perfect either, but it's just been a frustrating performance offensively and defensively since conference play began.
And a good bit of it has started right here, red zone possession.
Absolutely, that being probably the primary.
Here we are, 1st and goal at the 6 now. Holmberg going to throw a ball for Bobo and overshoots him. Covered in the corner by Damari Mathis of the Panthers.
You go nasty split there. Jake Bobo a little bit tighter inside the hash. You get the fade out to the field. Just a little wide from Gunnar Holmberg.
They go to the pistol again with Durant. And here's Holmberg looking to keep. He crashes to the goal line. John Patrician the stop for the Panthers. 3rd and goal here.
All right, that's where they were before.
Here comes Jake Marweedy into the ball game. They're going to get a couple of tight ends in this package. Cole Finney already on the field.
You know what I'm lobbying for here, Wes?
Quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak.
Here goes Holmberg under center. And I'm not sure. And I don't think he got in on the quarterback sneak.
Do it again. No, in all seriousness, I mean, if you just need a little bit of push, and Holmberg has to kind of work and find that soft spot as he's going to get in on that sneak. I don't know if you trust taking the ball away from center unless you feel really good about a play call that's got some deception to it.
Hey, is number 4 the review?
Okay, Roddy.
Let's take a look. I know that this is going to tell us. I'm telling you what, Servacio Dennis may have been in the neutral zone, but
there was no flag on that.
No flag there. I mean, look, there's nothing that you're going to be able to take from that.
So the ruling on the field is probably going to stand if that's kind of the angles you're looking for. Here's another one.
Look where Pitt is. I mean, that's real borderline. Not that
I think when he turns is when he gives himself back to the field, though, right?
Yeah, well, I was talking about the neutral zone,
right.
Being in the neutral zone. But yeah, like as a quarterback, ruling on the field stands. As a quarterback, and this is coming from a guy who's never attempted a quarterback sneak in his life. But what you like to see is the quarterback sort of feel for those soft spots, if you can, instead of just plunging right into the back of the center. Not saying that Gunnar Holmberg would have gotten in otherwise.
So what do you do here again?
I think you go for it.
You sneak it?
I think so, to be really frank. Like it's either that or Mateo Durant, and they're in the shotgun.
Yep. Pistol set again. Here's the give. Durant dives, and I don't think he got in on 4th and goal. Servassier Dennis, watch number 7, Roddy. Lead the pack.
See Durant try and jump in, and I think that's pretty definitive that he didn't get in. It's Servassier Dennis, but watch up front. They just create a big pile right up the middle, and that's why you rarely see those sort of dive plays right up the middle. But on the left side, Servassier Dennis managing the trash, and as soon as Durant goes up to go over the pile, he grabs him. But you got to give a lot of credit to those defensive linemen creating a big pile as a running back. I used to hate that on the goal line when there's nothing but a pile and you have nowhere to go. 5
plays. Vincent Davis is coming as a running back. He'll get the call, and I think Duke might have trapped him behind the line for the safety, and they did. Wow. Gary Smith, I think, was the first Blue Devil to blow up the first carry of the day for Vincent Davis.
Ben Albert told us yesterday, playing better starts with the defensive line. The R.J. Oben strip, and then Vincent Davis getting stacked up right at the line. The whole ball has to get out of the end zone, and I think it's very clear there that it did not. It's a great play up front. Shaka Hayward taking on the lead block, able to create that trash in the backfield, and then eventually bring down Vincent Davis. They're going to review this one, but I don't think there's any way you overturn it. This one's going to sting Pitt fans a little bit, Wes.
Yeah, it is.
Called the safety on the field. Nothing that we saw, nothing that we have seen so far is going to overturn that. Pitt fans, obviously, for any Duke fans that don't know, had a similar situation last week. They thought they had Jalen Knighton in the end zone for a safety. It was called that he was down on the 1-yard line and then stood.
You see Davis there, and then it's the combination of Hayward and Gary Smith, and you can't tell.
Well, you have to have indisputable video evidence that the entire ball gets out of the end zone in order to call it that it was not a safety, that he was down on the 1-yard line. There's no way that's getting overturned based on what we've seen.
Yep. So Marcus Woods, the referee, under the hood to take a look. But the ruling on the field of a safety, and man, Pat Narduzzi's got to be thinking, what in the world, after last Saturday at Heinz Field, where they didn't have a camera angle that gave you indisputable video evidence.
Safety.
And the call on the field stands.
Yeah, and look, the difference between that one and this one, the call on the field. The call on the field last week in a situation that West looked eerily similar.
Right.
With Jalen Knighton and Pitt wrapping up him in the end zone, what looked like in the end zone. That was called that he got out of the end zone, was down on the 1-yard line, and it could not be overturned. This time the call on the field, a safety, play stands based on replay.
Yep. So now we got ourselves a 2-point ball game here at Wallace Wade Stadium.
Without Duke getting the ball in the end zone.
That's it. A ham field goal and now a safety, and here's the punt by Christodoulou. And the Blue Devils with Jontavius Robertson on the return. Trying to work his way back across the 30, and he got turned back by Chase Pine. Don't forget, we're in game 1 of 3 today on ACC Network. Next, we'll send you to Tallahassee. Number 19, NC State invades Doak Campbell Stadium at Bobby Bowden Field. They've won 3 of the last 4 against Florida State, Roddy, but have lost 6 of their last 7 road visits. Have the Wolfpack to Tallahassee. And then at night, prime time, Roddy Jones among many interested in Clemson and Louisville, presented by Geico here on ACC Network.
Alex Martino, our producer, interested as well.
Yeah.
That 3 of 4, 6 of 7 had my head spinning, Wes. I don't know what to make of that.
All right, well, all I can
lot.
tell you is State's won 3 of the last 4, but they've lost 6 of the last 7 road visits to Tallahassee. A slant for Calhoun gets Duke to midfield. Hallett the stop.
Hallett's banged up.
Yep. Boy, we've seen some Panthers get shaken up here.
I think this is straight play action. I don't know that there was any run option to that. I think they were going to Jalen Calhoun no matter what.
Let me ask you, we've seen Bobo, and we know Jake Bobo's receiver 1 for Duke.
Yeah.
Eli Panko, Jalen Calhoun, Daryl Harding, who's also been a factor in this season. He had 9 catches coming in. The exploration of that for Gunnar Holmberg is working here in the first half.
Yeah, you have to have multiple guys that are able to beat the type of coverage that Pitt's able to throw at you. And this is a game where, much like we said with Jordan Addison on the other side, being able to have success against Duke in the slot, for Duke, guys like Jalen Calhoun are going to be on safeties a lot. And Eric Hallett, who we just saw leave the game, is going to be one of those. P.J. O'Brien, a true freshman they're really excited about, comes in the game to replace him. So if I'm Duke, you try and get Bobo or Calhoun to find O'Brien and test him in space. That matchup's going to be to the bottom with Jontavius Robertson in the slot.
Gunnar Holmberg off to a great start here today, and on cue, the catch by Bobo into territory at the 47-yard line of Pittsburgh. Taylor.
Well, guys, like we've seen so far, a few defensive players for Pitt gone down. Earlier in the game, Keyshawn Camp left and went to the locker room. He is back here on the sideline in a boot and crutches. He will not return. A.J. Woods also was taken to the locker room to look at that shoulder injury.
Around the corner, and a first down for the Blue Devils. Down to the 32-yard line. Brandon Hill makes the tackle, Roddy, on Mateo Durant.
Watch the seal on the edge. You're going to get Marweedy out front with a nice block on the edge, and it gets Durant free. This Duke offense has really seemed like it's in rhythm, at least between the 20s.
Here's Holmberg, hit as he throws toward the end zone. Calhoun, touchdown!
Wes, we just talked about it. Eric Hallett leaves the game. You bring in the freshman, P.J. O'Brien, and then you search for the matchup. Jalen Calhoun against the true freshman safety. Little double move, gives him a stick inside, gets up the seam. He's wide open. Gunnar Holmberg's able to find him. How big the safety is, that defense able to turn to get the safety after being stopped on the 1-yard line. And then Duke able to capitalize.
4 plays, 70 yards in a minute, 17 seconds, Roddy. Boy, Raekwon Boyette's got to be thrilled with his wide receivers.
Let's look at the all-22. The receiver on the hash to the bottom, that's Jalen Calhoun. The safety on the hash to on the left side, that's P.J. O'Brien. You see him go inside. O'Brien looks in the backfield. Calhoun goes back up the seam. That's as easy as it gets in terms of a pitch and catch. But when you get a true freshman safety and you know what Pitt's going to be in, you know that you're going to have an opportunity for one-on-one against that guy, you find it, and you're able to capitalize.
Well, Gunnar Holmberg, 13 of 15, 152, and now the touchdown, his 7th of the year. And in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, Duke has put 12 points on the board to take the lead. A field goal, a safety, and a 32-yard lob shot to Jalen Calhoun from Gunnar Holmberg.
And I'm going to be honest, this is the 3rd time this year that an offense has come out against this Pitt defense and really had their number.
Right.
Western Michigan, Miami last week, and now Duke this week. It seems like when these offenses figure out something, they go back to it. And Pitt's been slow to adjust in first quarters, or at least slow to get going defensively in first quarters when they've had some early adversity.
Kick into the end zone. So now, remember now, we said at the top, the margin for error for Pittsburgh in terms of their lead in the Coastal with Carolina on Thursday night and 2 weeks from today, Virginia. is practically 0. And now they find themselves down 5 points. So all the things that Pittsburgh has done to get to 6-2 and 3-1 in ACC play, Roddy, they're going to have to channel all the positive they can get as Abanikanda comes back to join Pickett in the pistol. And Israel's going to get the first carry. A little fullback to the narrow side, and Abanikanda up to midfield before he's finally shoved out of bounds. It was Lummy Young who finally wedged him out at the 47 after a 28-yard run.
How about the speed of Abanikanda bouncing it back to the weak side of the play and then out and running Jeremiah Lewis to the corner. Big fella scooting.
Yep, sure is. Came in second behind Vincent Davis in rushing. Here's Pickett with time, rips it across the middle, and that is caught. Jared Wayne, a sensational catch at the 35.
It's about as tough a catch as you will see because he catches it with his hands with a defensive back on his back and then has to maintain control through the contact from Shaka Hayward. That's really good.
Here's Pickett, first down give. Abanikanda trying to wrestle away from Gary Smith. Well, the sophomore from Shelbyville, Tennessee, involved in the tackle with Shaka Hayward on the safety and is playing behind the line here.
This Pitt defensive, this Duke defensive line has really been excellent outside of that first drive from Pitt, creating the turnover, creating the safety. They've done a really nice job.
2nd and 11 after the tackle behind the line by Smith. Pickett giving ground. Now going to loop it downfield. Wayne cannot come back for it, incomplete. 3rd and 11 will be next for Pittsburgh. And tell you what, Jared Wayne was wide open.
Well, the throw is caused by the fact that the Duke defensive line is all over Kenny Pickett right now. Pitt not holding up front. Kenny Pickett wanted Jared Wayne to stay high on the route. He did not, and you get a 3rd and long situation.
Yep, Panthers on the year, Roddy, hitting 45.2%. They're 4th in the ACC. Here's Pickett, clutches, and off the hands of Lucas Krull, right in front of Lummy Young on the final play of the first period. Well, Duke, who's lost 4 straight by an average of 30 points, has a 5-point lead at the end of 1 on number 25, Pittsburgh. Coverage continues next. Hey, and it's a 12-7 lead for the Blue Devils on number 25, Pittsburgh. With Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, Wes Durham, Krista Dulo just going to try and flip this one downfield. And boy, look at that beautiful thing, Roddy.
Nice job.
Checks up at the 5, out of bounds at the 4. Adamitis, the long snapper there. I tell you what, during the break, Duke celebrating Veterans Day next week here today at Wallace Wade Stadium. That's Ed Cottrell on Military Appreciation Day, a P-17 pilot in the Battle of the Bulge. God bless you, Mr. Cottrell, and thank you for your service. Absolutely, right?
Yep. Jinx, you owe me soda.
Duke takes over at its 5. Blue Devils have the lead. They went 3 minutes and 10 seconds, scoring their 12 points, including a safety. Holmberg off to a good start. Here's Bobo, a first down catch and stretch to the 14-yard line.
You know, last week Miami had a lot of success with those timing routes, those stop routes on the outside. As long as quarterback and receiver are in sync, hard to defend.
Yep. 2nd and short, and Durant is having a good day as well, at least through a period of play. Diving out to the 21 before Patrician trips him up at a first down.
One of those quick hitters. Mateo Durant.
So here is Holmberg going to work. Jalen Coleman, who's come in the ball game now, the running back spot. So we've seen 3 different guys. Durant, Waters, and now the freshman Coleman on the field. I should say redshirt sophomore is Coleman. Here's Holmberg, another quick throw. Bobo trying to go up the ladder, and he was thrown to the ground by Mathis, and a flag has come in on the play.
Eric Hallett, by the way, back in at safety.
And they're going to get pass interference. First penalty of the game on Pittsburgh, who had over 100 yards
Pass
last week
interference.
against Miami.
Defense, number 21. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
First down on the pass interference against the 5th-year senior, the former Lakeland Dreadnought, Damari Mathis.
That's not pass interference. I disagree with that call.
So here is a first down. 28-yard line. Quick throw. Holmberg coming back for Bobo again. And Mathis in coverage for Pittsburgh.
Now that might have been pass interference. So on the last one, Jake Bobo goes up and Mathis kind of slings him down, but it's after the ball hits his hands.
Right.
That one was contact while the ball was in the air. I thought that was more pass interference than the last one, although I'm fine if neither one of them are called.
2nd and 10. Here's Holmberg. Now going to try and take a deep shot. Man went down. It looked like that Robertson was the intended receiver, but he and Hallett got caught up in the fray on the hash marks on the far side of the field here, Roddy.
I think Duke's gotten a little greedy the past few plays. A couple of jump balls to Jake Bobo, and then the throw down the field. I mean, those little inside runs to Mateo Durant have been so good for you. At least mix one of those in on 1st or 2nd down and get you into a 3rd and manageable.
Blue Devils are 3 of 5 on the day. They're 5th in the ACC coming in on 3rd down. Here's Holmberg. Pitt trying to get there. Baldonado flushes him out. Down low, the intended receiver off his hands, incomplete in front of Dennis. And maybe what started with a promising play or two, Roddy, goes by the board very quietly here for David Cutcliffe's team.
Yeah, I really liked the way they started the drive. A little timing route, a stop on the outside. You're able to complete it. The quick hitter to Mateo Durant. And then after that, it was only the pass interference that got you yardage because the throw downfield. Now, there was a trip there, but I thought they really started with some momentum and then kind of stalled.
Jordan Addison handling the punts today with Jalen Barden out. And that ball is going to bounce off Porter Wilson's foot and inside the 30 to the 28. But number 25, Pittsburgh trails by 5 when we continue. Wallace Wade Stadium. Sonny Falcone, who played in the defensive line at Duke in the early 1970s for Mike McGee, and then became the master strength coach for Duke Athletics for 40 years, principally with football. Retiring here soon after a wonderful association with the university and in particular the football program and athletics, and honored at the break here by Duke Athletics and David Cutcliffe and Director of Athletics Nina King. And very nice to see a moment for a gentleman who, Roddy, he's a trailblazer now. I mean, Maryland and Jerry Claiborne created strength work for football in the ACC in the early 70s. And Duke got into the game with the leadership of Sonny Falcone. And great to see him acknowledged. There's a 2nd down throw and the catch to Jaden Bradley, who they're really excited about in Pittsburgh. But we're getting ready to find out where the point game goes, because you see Pittsburgh's #1 in the country in 2nd quarter scoring, and Duke toward the bottom of the shelf. And it's a 5-point lead for David Cutcliffe's team, and Pickett throwing to Abanikanda, who breaks away. 1st down on the missed tackle. Out to the 44.5 goes Izzy Abanikanda before Daquan Johnson makes the stop on a 15-yard play.
But the ability of Abanikanda to break the tackle of Jamark Woods right after he catches the ball is really what makes it. They probably would have had him on a 4th and short had Woods been able to make the tackle. But Abanikanda doing a nice job in the pass game.
Sure is. And now 1st and 10 for Pickett at the Panther 45. They trail 5 here in period 2. Kenny going to flip it to Abanikanda near side. A little shake and bake. Gets into the midfield line and into Duke territory.
Abanikanda had a touchdown catch last week against Miami. Broke a tackle up the sideline. He's really developed. And you mentioned earlier his development this season, and he has done a really nice job. But I think his ability in the pass game is a little underrated in his game.
Yep. Here's Pickett on a 1st or 2nd and short situation. Going to take the launch for Jordan Addison. In stride, touchdown. $53 yards.
Anytime you get Jordan Addison on one of these, either safeties or nickels with no help, Kenny Pickett's going to number 3. That time it's Lummy Young who's the victim, and there's a Pitt player down. A lot of guys around him. That's Gabe Hoy. Looks like 57, the right tackle.
All right, we'll step aside. 3 minutes gone, 2nd period. Pittsburgh back in front.
Everybody has a flashlight, but can your flashlight do this? Or how about this? The Bell & Howell Tactical Flashlight can. Similar to flashlights used by elite military units, the Bell & Howell Tac Light can do things no ordinary flashlight can do.
And help from the field with 11:59 to go, and a moment ago the 47-yard strike. Kenny Pickett to Jordan Addison. Put Pitt back in front, Roddy.
Yeah, you get Jordan Addison motioning across the formation. Watch how Lemmy Young plays this. He's hard outside, so Jordan Addison just runs through the open gate, runs faster than Lemmy Young up the sideline, up the hash, and it's an easy pitch and catch for Kenny Pickett. Jordan Addison has been feasting when he gets man-to-man coverage in the slot. 67 career touchdown passes now for Kenny Pickett. Trails only Dan Marino, who had 79 in his marvelous Panther career. He's got a shot at it.
11th touchdown catch of the year for Addison, who's got 3 for 87 here in the first half. And Scarton trying to add the point, and does. Well, you start looking at these records, and Jordan Addison is now wait a second, we're getting in the territory of Larry Fitzgerald, Roddy.
No, he's not in the territory. He's
halfway, Roddy.
Well, halfway's a long way away.
Well, wait a second. Still, we're talking about a guy that had 22.
You know,
and he's only the second guy to have 11 or more.
You know, we need to have the rest of the guys below him so that we can have a little more relative appreciation for what Jordan Addison's done. Because all I see is, man, you got to do what you've done this season again to catch the GOAT.
Well, and then we told you about Marino, 79. Now, Van Pelt and Palco had 66, and Kenny's thrown 2 today, 1 to Wayne, 1 to Addison, and that puts him ahead.
He's got a shot of 13 more, and you'll pass Dan Marino for career passing touchdowns.
How about that, right? How about that?
What a pretty good career.
Here is Stinson on a running catch of it. Jalen Stinson cuts to the near side. Steps out of maybe the last guy, and Stinson's to the house.
Jalen Stinson with a shot of adrenaline to this team. How about the big plays that Duke has made? The big plays not always coming on the offensive side of the football, but on defense. And now on special teams, all 3 phases having pitched in scoring. It's a short kick, as Pitt's been doing over and over. You make a man miss in the hole, and then it's a foot race against the kicker. He wins that, and nothing but green grass in front of him. That's one of those where it's you and the kicker in the open field. You miss that, and you're going to be over and over. It's going to be replayed over and over, saying you got to finish it. Well, Jalen Stinson does it. It gets Duke back ahead.
Jalen Stinson, whose longest kick return of the year had been 32 yards against Northwestern, goes 86.
There's another Pitt player down on the sideline, too.
My goodness. He had a 40-yarder a year ago. The injured Panther is Buddy Mack out of the secondary, who's shaken up on the play, and Jalen Stinson has fired another shot of momentum for the Blue Devils here in this first half.
So much of kickoff coverage is staying in your lane, and when you get one-on-one with the kick returner, you got to be able to make a play. And then the opposite side, you got to make a guy miss. Chase Pine, the experienced linebacker for Pitt, number 36, one-on-one in the hole with Jalen Stinson. Stinson makes a miss, and that's when things break down. When you're able to make a guy miss in his lane, that's when it really breaks down for a kickoff team, and Duke makes him pay.
First kickoff return since Damon Phil-Yaw-Johnson at Wake Forest in November of 2019.
I believe he had a couple in that game, didn't he?
He did. We've seen Damon Phil-Yaw-Johnson this year.
Boy, have we.
The point after by Charlie Ham makes it a 5-point lead again for the Blue Devils.
Wes, a couple of Coastal Division teams trading punches. Pitt goes down, scores a touchdown, and then Jalen Stinson makes a man missing a hole, outruns the rest of the Pitt kickoff team, and gets Duke ahead in this ball game, 19-14. I have a feeling it's not the last punch we're going to see thrown.
All right, here we go. Miller in motion. Wait, is that a baby on the field?
It looks like it, Craig.
And the defensive linemen are playing peekaboo. I've never seen anything like that before.
Harris now appears to be burping the baby.
That's a great moment right there.
Ref going to the rule book here.
Well, wait a minute. Harris is off to the races.
We don't need any more trick plays.
Touchdown!
But we could all use more ways to save.
Are you kidding me?
That's got to be a long bus ride home for the defense.
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
A big bow box says a lot about a person. Like, they have a mighty hunger.
With Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, Wes Durham, Alex Farmartino, our producer, Dennis Lanius, our director, great ACC Network crew here in Durham. And Roddy, we got a shootout in the offing here, it looks like.
Yeah, this is not what we expected in this game, but Duke able to overcome a couple of missteps on offense, and they're leading in this game.
Well, Jalen Stinson just went 86 yards. Now, earlier, Roddy, a young man had a start, and he got dusted.
I think that's a 50-yard head start, Wes. 50-yard head start, and she walks him down. My goodness. She was a member of the Duke track team. Look, we're trying to set up a race between her and Taylor Davis on the sideline. I think, and to be honest, look,
wait,
Taylor's got the J's on.
Hold on. I'm not sure Taylor's accepted and said she wants the race. You've assigned her the race. Here's Shockey Jock Louis trying to take the corner. On the sweep, he'll pick up 5 before he's edged out of bounds by Alexander. Now, Taylor, I don't know that I heard you agreed to the sprint with Kelsey Simmons from the track team. Roddy signed you up for the sprint, it sounds like.
I believe my exact words were, yes, I brought the Jays out today, so I'm game.
Okay. Oh, boy. Here's Pickett on a straight drop. Slings it for the far side, and a tight sideline catch, and that was hauled in by Jacques Louis. Shockey's gotten a couple chances here. Jamarick Woods, the coverage on an 11-yard throw.
It's a good delivery from Kenny Pickett. You got Jordan Addison going up the seam. Duke's been forced into a lot of zone coverage because of the success that Addison's had.
Look at the move by Addison in space, and he'll pick up the first down. Roddy, a lot of this comes after the catch is made. In fact, all of it does.
Well, the quickness of Addison on full display, tackling in open space, difficult. Oh, man, that's tough for Jalen Alexander. That's going to get you on something. Probably social media.
First down in Duke territory. Pitt trying to find some rhythm. Pickett, another one. Jacques Louis in front of Blackwell. Almost another first down toward the 39-yard line.
The maturity of this Pitt offense has been something that's been impressive to me all year, because no matter what's been going on around them, they've just produced.
There's Vincent Davis squeezing through. That'll be enough for the first down to the 36.
And the thing you have to realize if you're Pitt is you just have to kind of weather this storm. You've had a turnover, a safety, a kickoff return given up for a touchdown, and yet you're only down 5 in this game.
Here's Pickett, shoots it, and Wayne dropped it right in front of Leonard Johnson. If Jared Wayne catches that, Roddy, he's going to be leveraged in the field, isn't he?
Yeah, you had someone coming from the opposite side of the field. I couldn't see who the defender was, but if he catches that, you're going to see a Duke defender kind of come in. You got a couple of guys around, so look, that ball was absolutely hummed by Kenny Pickett, though.
Yep. Second and the full 10 for Pickett. Right across the middle, here's Vincent Davis, and he will fall forward to the 29. It'll be 3rd and 3 coming up on the Shaka Hayward tackle.
Duke's mixed in about as much zone coverage as we've seen them do this year. We've had a lot of Duke games, but Jordan Addison in the slot has become a problem for them from a coverage standpoint. 3rd downs, though, this is where you tend, you go back to what you know. It looks like it's going to be press man.
Here's Pickett looking for Wayne, and a great catch for the first down inside the 20 Blackwell was there as Wayne falls forward to the 16, and boy, Kenny Pickett's on point here in this drive.
Yes, he is, and Jared Wayne using his body, strong hands to bring that ball in. Points them, nice job. All right, doing your thing. Okay.
Too tight set coming for the Panthers here as we work our way toward 9 minutes to go first half. You see Bartholomew, the tight end, lingering in the backfield with Vincent Davis. Pickett gonna loop it out of bounds. And pressure was coming from Shaka Hayward, 42 in the Royal Blue, and our chain gang holding the first down stick here, Roddy, at the back end. You got to hold on to the ball, sir. You cannot make the team. All the way through the ground, Roddy, right?
You got to make the catch. I mean, come on. It's your chance. Fame, fortune, all of it could have been yours. Man-to-man coverage.
And they're going to run it with Vincent Davis sliding through to about the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 6 here. Daquan Johnson the stop. You see the sophomore from Alabama to his feet.
Pitt going with a little bit of tempo. Jordan Addison not on the field.
That's Bartholomew. Here's Pickett rolling right. Duke looks like they've defended it well. Pickett's going to turn it upfield and step out of bounds at the 6-yard line. He needs 1 for the first down. R.J. Oben, I think, angled him out here.
Well, it's great coverage on the back end. Watch what Kenny Pickett's looking at. He's trying to go to Bartholomew. Kroll's not there. Wayne's not there, so he's got to turn it up. It looks like Pitt's going to kick the field goal.
Surprised, Roddy?
Yeah, I am. I think I'd go for it. Your defense has been pretty good. I mean, especially when they've gotten in the red zone, and you're still at a 2-point deficit. But Pat Narduzzi early in the game electing to take points.
So here is Scarton. This is a 24-yard try. And the try is good.
24-yard try by Sam Scarton is good.
Cuts it to a 2-point game with 7:53 to go. And of course, the difference in the game right now is Jalen Stenson's 86-yard kickoff return, Roddy. And just because we want to do this, Kelsey Simmons and Jalen Stenson.
Look, I think Kelsey Simmons could have taken that thing for a touchdown as well. You got some Duke speed on display. Track and field on the left, football on the right. Nothing but speed for the Duke Blue Devils on display at Wallace Wade. The fabled horseshoe on the West Campus, as a good friend likes to refer to.
That's exactly right. By the way, these two schools opened this facility.
Did they really?
In 1929, Duke Outdoor Stadium it was called.
Wow.
James DeHart, in his 4th year coaching Duke, hosted Jock Sutherland and the Panthers, who ultimately went 9-1 and lost in the Rose Bowl. That was their only defeat of the year. Pittsburgh came to Durham and won 52-7, October 5th, 1929, the first time they played a game at the fabled horseshoe on the West Campus.
And once a week, we go down to a history lesson where I'm just treading water during the conversation. That was it.
Is that it right there? You sure?
I might not be the only one.
And that time Stinson does not return the kick. He got flipped over shy of the 20-yard line at the 19. Let's get to our Aflac trivia question. And as always, Roddy and I have not seen the question.
Aflac.
Kenny Pickett set a new Pitt single game passing record last week, 519 against Miami. Whose record did he break? Answer in a moment.
It's a good one. You know what?
Oh, Chase Pine or Cam Bright. It is 38 Bright who lowers the boom.
Well, Gunnar Holmberg's got to get rid of this football. He's staring Cam Bright in the face. Just throw the ball away. You hold it too long and you take a massive sack. That's one of those that's on the quarterback.
So the ball started at the 18, now back into the 10-yard line, and Holmberg will push it out toward the 14, and Duke will punt on a 3-and-out here. Or 3rd down, rather. 2nd down, then now 3rd down.
think you're going to see some type of screen to Mateo Durant, unless you can get a really good matchup for Jalen Calhoun, who's in the slot to the bottom.
Yeah, Patrician and Hallett kind of in that formation, but now Pat Narduzzi's going to take a timeout here, Rodney.
White timeout, timeout White.
6:56 to go in a 2-point ball game.
Timeout, Pittsburgh, they're first.
We'll step aside with them here in Durham.
I never thought I would experience hearing loss.
And I thought he just stopped listening to me.
You used earlier, blustery.
Is it fitting? More fitting, you think?
It's very windy.
Darryl Harding, top of the screen. Roddy's already talked about Calhoun in the slot to the bottom here, and Holmberg on 3rd and long. On a straight drop, Pitt bringing the pressure, and Gunnar Holmberg going to be sacked back near the goal line. Second time in the possession. Cam Bright's been the problem.
Second time in the possession. Gunnar Holmberg trying to get out of it, costs him. He's working to get away from the sack and almost runs into the end zone. Lucky he didn't have another step there, or else it might have been a safety.
So Porter Wilson will be backed up here. Jordan Addison stands at the 46 in plus territory for Pittsburgh.
You know, in the hidden yardage parts of this,
right?
Those 2 sacks, massive in field position.
First 3 and out of the day for the Blue Devils, who almost had it blocked. Patrician hit Wilson. Flags are down, and Wilson stumbles again here. Is this the big one or the small one, though?
Even if it's just the small one, Duke gets a chance to repunt after a brutal punt.
Marcus Woods, the referee.
Looks like it's going to be the small one running. There wouldn't be this much discussion if it was roughing.
David Cutcliffe in deep discussion. Porter Wilson was
running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Going for the
replay,
Oscar, by the way.
down.
It was the Duke punter.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would give it to Vincent Davis from last week. But
watch this.
I think that's a. I mean, when you get under the leg of the punter, I mean, I don't know, letter of the law wise.
What are we going for here?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It's poor is what it is. Poor acting.
So Duke will repunt. Plus the 5.
So typically when you run into the punter's leg while it's out, that is running into the kicker. But I feel like there has to be an exception when you get under the guy's leg. Like that has to be roughing, right?
It's another discretionary call, though.
Yeah, so the plant leg typically is roughing.
Right.
But the leg that's in the air is running. But again, like his leg is up in the air. That's as exposed as a punter's going to get.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that time the Blue Devils cleaned out one of the guys trying to get to Porter Wilson. And Addison will be tackled at the Pittsburgh 39 after a 59-yard punt by Porter Wilson.
It's about a 25-yard difference in field position just off the running into the kicker penalty.
Sure is. Aflac trivia question. Last week, Kenny Pickett threw for 519 to set a single-game Pitt passing record. Whose record did he break? Alex Van Pelt, Tyler Palco, Dan Marino?
I'm going Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman. Pete Gonzalez.
I mean, look, my guess was as good as Pete Gonzalez would have been. Right. Was Pete Gonzalez one of those that you named?
I did not name Pete Gonzalez. Pittsburgh from its 39. Rodney Hammond is in the ball game. Pickett slinging for Addison. Just beyond his reach. Jalen Stinson, who's got a kick return for a score, was in coverage.
Yeah, it's a missed throw by Kenny Pickett. He's got Addison open. I think he could have put a little bit more air on that, let him a little bit further up the field, made it a little easier on the receiver.
Does this feel like a big possession for Pittsburgh under 6 to go second quarter? Here's Pickett being flushed from the pocket. Kenny's going to keep it and will work to the midfield line and kind of hurdles out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, yes, in some ways. It's not one of those do or die possession. Pitt really, I'd say for the most part, controlled the way this game has gone without the scores, you know? Like, Pitt has moved the ball as consistently, if not more. I feel like the defenses have been about equal. It's really the auxiliary plays, kickoff return for a touchdown, the safety that have really killed Pitt. Whereas Duke has mostly played a clean game with the exception of being on the 1-yard line and fumbling the ball.
Brian Smith, the big hit on Rodney Hammond. It's 2nd and long for the Panthers. Ball at Duke's 49-yard line in a 2-point game. Pickett, long throw, Chuck Louis the catch, inbounds at the 31-yard line at Duke ahead of Jeremiah Lewis.
How good is that throw?
Wow.
Talking about a guy that's in the middle of the field throwing an absolute laser back shoulder to Shockey Jock Louis right on the sideline. Might have been a little bit of a juggle there by Jock Louis.
David Cutcliffe calling a timeout. And I think he wants to have a review of this.
On the field of completion is under further review.
And there is the review called for.
He's got the ball in his hands.
Did he hit the ground with it, though? Did he hit the right foot down? The left foot is out of bounds, I think.
So, because he's up when he catches the football, I don't think this is one of those situations where he has to survive the ground with the football. The question is, does he have control of it inbounds with a foot? And if that's the case, it's a catch. So you've got control there,
right
hand
foot
comes in. I would say
is there enough to overturn it, Roddy?
Let's get one more look at it.
The right foot, there's the right foot hitting, it looks like, with the ball, which is part of this.
Yeah, so the right foot hits inbounds. Now it's about control. And the ball moves slightly, but it's still in his hands. I would declare that control, and then it comes out when it hits the ground. I think this is going to stand as a catch, Wes. I do.
David Cutcliffe with a long visit at the Duke sideline. Ruling on the field's important here.
Yeah. And look, the situations where you have to survive the ground, those are the diving situations, going down to your knees. This is a ball that's caught in bounds.
After further review, the rule on the field stands. First down.
There you go.
And the reason for that is when you have a receiver that's up, he catches, has control, hand in bounds, or excuse me, foot in bounds, and then is knocked out of bounds. Once he's out of bounds, the play's dead. And the question is there control? Surviving the ground is only when a guy is catching the ball going to the ground. And that would not apply in this situation. So I think it's a good call.
Pick it up over 200 yards now on 15 of 21. And the 2 touchdowns, one to Wayne, one to Addison. Bartholomew, the tight end, in motion. Hammond stays in the ball game. He'll get the call here, and Rodney Hammond, spinning out of tackles, picks up almost 10 on the play. Lummy Young made the stop. We all heard Kenny Pickett use the Tim Salem quote about Rodney Hammond this week, Roddy. When Tim Salem, the tight ends coach, called Rodney Hammond a Mountain Dew can.
Pitt coaches said it maybe because of Tim Salem's consumption.
Well, that's what Kenny Pickett alluded to. Here's Pickett dancing through the pocket. He'll get the first down. 10, 5, Kenny, a touchdown. Kenny Pickett goes 22 yards.
Wes, that was Kenny shows the Jets to the end zone. I was gonna go falsetto on you, but I didn't decide to do that. In all seriousness, Kenny Pickett reading the defense, exploding up the field, and then shows the speed getting to the end zone. Kenny Pickett, a great athlete, showing it there.
Yep. Pickett's thrown for 2, run for 1 now. It's his 4th rushing score of the year. Scarton's point gives Pittsburgh back a 5-point lead with 4 minutes to go here in the first half.
You said you thought it was a big drive for the Panthers. It's man-to-man coverage on the back end. Nobody accounting for the quarterback. Kenny Pickett sees the lane and then outruns the safety to the end zone. Watch the eyes of Kenny Pickett. He's looking downfield, looking left, looking right, and then sees, oh, I got a lot of room. Me and you to the pylon. I'm going to win that foot race.
Wow.
You know, that's something that we were really robbed of towards the end of last year, and Kenny Pickett was robbed of.
With the ankle?
Because of that ankle. The Boston College game, he has that ankle injury, has the surgery on it, and Kenny Pickett has really shown all facets of his game today.
You mentioned it earlier, the maturity of this Pitt offense, and it has so much to do with the maturity of Kenny Pickett. I've actually watched him on the sideline today. He spends a lot of time talking with his receivers, talking about what he sees, specifically the difference in speed of these Duke safeties and Jordan Addison. So he's definitely like a coach, which is what Pat Narduzzi told us about him, that he's kind of got that coach's eye, that coach's mentality. I'm even seeing it with his teammates, and it really translates to the field.
And Wes, David Cutcliffe told us the best receivers coaches are the quarterbacks, because they see exactly where the guys who need to go, and they are able to explain it. He was talking to us about Peyton Manning. He said, look, I see it with Kenny Pickett. He's probably a great coach for those receivers. Taylor's seeing it on the sideline.
No doubt about it. The other aspect about it that has developed in our visits with Pittsburgh and talking to opposing coaches is Durant rips off 8 on first down, almost 9 to the 36. And David Cutcliffe pointed this out when talking about Kenny Pickett, is there's no doubt that his teammates have all bought in. His work ethic, his success, his willingness to come back has created that kind of leadership and buy-in from everybody else, be it offense or defense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this Duke offense has gone back to work on the ground. Some of the stuff that worked early for him, those quick hitters up the middle.
Cutcliffe's team riding Mateo Durant here in this first half. Here's a quick throw offline for Pankow. And the clock will stop on the incomplete forward pass with 3:19 to play.
And we've kind of seen Gunnar Holmberg be really good in situations where he's able to make quick decisions, has a clean pocket, and able to deliver. But anytime Pitt's gotten pressure in his face, it's kind of broken down for the quarterback.
And here is Holmberg on a play fake, cutting it loose in pressure, and overthrows Calhoun with Hallett defending. Don't forget, coming up, the auto owners insurance halftime report. Jordan Cornette will be there with Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Eddie Royal in studio. Highlights of Wake, Carolina, Georgia Tech, Miami, and of course what we've got here in the first 30 minutes at Wallace Wade Stadium. Holmberg trying to get away. There's a flag thrown as Bengali Kamara makes the tackle on the sack. But let's see what we have here. Is it a hold on Duke? Marcus Woods' preliminary indication is hold on Duke.
Holding. Offense, number 63. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
The penalty on Jacob Monk declined.
You see 63. Pulling on Cam Bright.
Cam Bright's become a problem, Roddy.
You know what, though, this Duke team hasn't been able to find the same type of success that it had really through the first quarter and a half.
Addison waits on the Wilson punt with the wind at his back, drives Addison back toward the 10. Jordan to the far side. Addison trying to find the cutback out to the 37. And with 2:41 to play, that's where Pittsburgh will get started. Don't forget, still to come on ACC Network tomorrow, high noon, the ACC Field Hockey Championship. 5th seed Virginia takes on the 3rd seed North Carolina. The 4-time defending ACC champs at noon. Mike Corey, Leah Secundo will have our coverage right here on ACC Network. Nobody covers the ACC like we do.
How many times does Aaron Matson score tomorrow?
I don't know, man, but 4 times the offensive player of the year in the ACC.
Pretty good.
Pitt from its 37 here, Roddy. Kenny Pickett winds up. Addison wide open 30. 25, Jordan Addison 20. And down to the 17 go the Panthers, and they are right back at it with 2.5 to go.
Mentioned earlier that Duke has played as much zone coverage as we've seen him all year. And watch Jordan Addison just working across that zone. It's a deep over route. You get the clear out route, takes the corner away. There's nobody in that soft spot. Jordan Addison with a big play.
Pickett on a quick snap. Abanikanda out of the backfield and steps out at the 15 with Dorian Usi on the tackle. Addison, by the way, 134 yards, now has 7 career 100-yard games, Roddy.
And Duke having to adjust the way they've been playing Jordan Addison. He's twice beat him when he's gotten man-to-man coverage, and now you go zone. And without pressure on Kenny Pickett, a clear out route is going to clear so much room for guys like Jordan Addison to work underneath.
So here is Pickett's 2nd down and 9 off the 16. And a quick throw, and Addison not able to bring it in against Stinson.
Third and long. This Duke defense, here's the great conundrum. You go man-to-man coverage and bring pressure, and Kenny Pickett can hurt you with his legs like he did on the last drive. If you go zone, if you're not able to get there, then there's going to be somewhere in that zone coverage that's going to break down, and you run the risk of a guy like Jordan Addison finding it.
Yep. Abanikanda with Pickett. Lucas Krull, the tight end, in motion. Pickett looping for Addison. Offline, incomplete. Duke had coverage with Jeremiah Lewis.
It's really good coverage by Jeremiah Lewis. They're trying to go with that slot fade. Lewis is plastered all over him, leaving a really small window for Pickett to fit that ball in. Ball's out of bounds. Forces the field goal attempt.
34-yard try for Scarton here to make this an 8-point advantage with under 2 minutes to go, and Pitt getting the ball to start second half. And the kick from Scarton is good from 34 yards. So Pittsburgh here in the last basically 6 minutes and change gotten 2 field goals from Scarton and a Pickett touchdown run. Pat Narduzzi's making notes, so let me tell you this, number 8 ought to be at the top of the chart.
Yeah, it's probably the first note that he has. Kenny Pickett scrambling early, delivers to Jared Wayne down the field. And the big shots have been to Jordan Addison, as they always are, it seems like. Number 3 has been a big part of what they've been able to do, but Kenny Pickett showing off the speed. Kenny and the Jets getting the ball in the end zone. Did have the fumble on the strip sack earlier by R.J. Oben, but outside of that, Kenny Pickett has really lived up to the billing.
Scarton's kicked a couple field goals. Pickett's got All-America locks, and the lead is 8 at 27-19.
I've got some real questions. I mean, he is pounding the water on the locks. It's a cold, blustery day. Not sure I'd go with the wet hair look, but when you can flip it back like that, I mean, why not?
So just better than 100 seconds to go here in this first half. 8-point lead for the Panthers. Man, I tell you what, a back and forth thing this has been, right? And Stinson off the 2. Jalen Stinson and taken down at the 22. So the ballots will be out here in a few weeks, right? Probably 3rd week of November, ACC Player of the Year. So really, here's who you're looking at. You're looking at your Kenny Pickett. You're looking at Sam Hartman, by the way. Wade playing in nearby Chapel Hill. Brennan Armstrong at Virginia. And if you want, we'll throw Sean Tucker in there, too, because he leads the ACC. He might be one of the best running backs in the country.
Leads the country in rushing. What do you mean if we want to throw Sean Tucker in there? He's been fantastic.
Here's a quick throw. Holmberg. Dalmolin, the tight end, hauls it in, but it's only a gain of a couple. So, all right, I'm giving you the ballot. You get to pick 3, Roddy.
Oh, well, right now, my 3 are Hartman, Pickett, and Sean Tucker.
In that order?
Yep,
okay.
In that order. And it really comes down to wins, Wes.
Here's another throw. Whoa! Bobo got blasted by Marquez Williams, but held on at the 36.
Williams does a nice job of taking his head out of the tackle, not meeting with that crown of the helmet, and not hitting Bobo up high. Hits him in the shoulder. It's a good, hard, illegal hit.
Here's Holmberg with the clock winding down, and he'll be sacked with 1:09 to play on a first down sack. And that was Pine, 36, who makes the stop for Pittsburgh, and a timeout used here.
You get a couple guys, including Chase Pine, on Jordan Waters in pass protection, and Gunnar Holmberg's banged up after that one.
Yep. And Riley Leonard is quickly warming at the Duke bench. And Hap Zarzer there, the athletics trainer for Duke football.
Yeah, the amount of
check in on Holmberg.
The amount of pain that looks like he's in, and the place that he's grabbing. It's one of the nightmares for a quarterback. He's driven down right on that shoulder, and then as he gets up, he grabs the sort of the shoulder area of the arm that was up, not the one that hit the ground. The right shoulder hit the ground. He's grabbing that left sort of shoulder collarbone area. Just hope that he's all right.
Well, Gunnar hit 13 of his first 15, but the second quarter's been rough. Just 3 of 8 for 22 yards. And after the sack, 2nd and 19's the next snap for Riley Leonard. Roddy, we saw him briefly last week, kind of finish it up in Winston-Salem. On the year, he's just 10 of 18 passing for 126 yards, and he had a rushing score last week for Coach Cutcliffe's team. But that is a tough development right now for a Duke team that has kind of stood in there toe-to-toe against number 25 Pitt in his first half.
Duke better be careful if they go too conservative here.
Here's a throw, Leonard to Calhoun, and against Hallett, couldn't hang on. Looks like Phil Campbell might have had a shot at it. Look at this, Roddy.
Well, it's a dangerous throw early on, and more importantly, it's an incomplete pass. Pitt's got 2 timeouts, so if you have another incomplete pass here, Pitt's going to get the ball back. That could have been a pick 6 there.
Phil Campbell had it right in the wickets, and now Leonard's going to take a sack. John Patrician and Cam Bright. 38 has been a major factor here on defense in quarter 2 for Narduzzi's team.
Certainly has, especially on those blitzes. And now, because you have the incomplete pass, Pitt's going to get the ball back. Around 50 seconds left and a timeout. And Kenny Pickett at quarterback, that's an eternity, but you saw Patrician and Bright there meeting at the quarterback. Patrician's done a nice job this year too.
So Bright and Pittsburgh have posted 4 sacks now in this first half of play. You know what's interesting about this game in some respect, Roddy?
A lot.
Yeah, but the first part is that Pittsburgh has probably handled this first half a little better than they handled the first half against Miami last week, especially from a penalty perspective. Remember how many plays got wiped away?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you've seen the maturity of this team kind of weathering the storm from Duke. Really bad punt.
And, well, don't forget we're game 1 of 3 here on ACC Network. Still to come. We'll send you to Tallahassee. Chris Cotter, Mark Hersley, Jalen Johnson standing by. Roddy, got a lean on NC State, Florida State next?
I think NC State better watch out. Florida State's playing really well. I think I'd lean towards the Wolfpack, but I feel great about it.
All right, and then primetime presented by Geico tonight. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs are in Derby City. You'll have a big time there for Louisville and Clemson, and there are Devin Leary's numbers.
Devin Leary's been overshadowed by some really good quarterbacks, but he's had an excellent year.
Yeah. Not a great punt by Wilson. Pittsburgh from its 43 with 44 seconds left. Here's Pickett with Shaka Hayward chasing. Got to be careful with that guy. And Pickett will be taken down. It'll be a 3-yard loss, a 2-yard loss back at the 42, but he did get out of bounds with 38 seconds left. So Pat Narduzzi can hang on to the timeout.
And you mentioned the punt a second ago, and it was not a great punt, but it hit the ground, and Duke just let it sit there wisely and drained about 5 seconds off the clock when they did that.
So here's Pickett now, zipping one, and Kroll couldn't hang on. And Lummy Young was in the neighborhood defensively for Duke, and Lucas Kroll shaken up.
It's a couple drops for Kroll today.
Yep. Transfer from Florida, injured most of last year. Ooh. And Lucas going to stay on the field here.
Shaking out the cobwebs.
Former baseball prospect, by the way. Here's Kroll.
They're going to take Kroll out of the game.
Yeah.
The official is deeming that he needs to get checked out. They had 2 tight ends in the game, so having to go with a different personnel group, likely a different play call, what you were originally planning on that 3rd down. Although tackle over, you've got number 77 over on the left side.
Carter Warren.
That's Carter Warren, yep.
Here's Pickett. Flips it out in the flat, and that's Daniel Carter. And Carter will have the first down, I think. Yep. Shaka Hayward angled him out. Carter stepped out just barely ahead of the stick.
Well, they went tackle over. You had Carter Warren next to Gonzalez on that right side. Then you get Carter Warren out to the nub side. There's nobody out there for Duke.
Yep. Quick throw. Wayne couldn't hang on against Leonard Johnson. So the clock will stop with 24 seconds. Now Duke is playing 2 guys really deep here. They've moved Jamarick Woods some 20 yards off the snap, Roddy.
Yeah, they have. Another tackle over situation. Carter Warren is in that tight end position at the top. You've got Bartholomew to the bottom.
Here's Pickett, flooded to his right, long throw. Jacques Louis the catch, rolling on the ground at the 34.
Save the timeout if you spike it.
18 seconds left. They'll move the chains. Kenny Pickett's right there to snap it when they do, and there's the spike with 15 seconds.
It's just good operation on offense. Getting the first down, getting up quick, spiking the football, saving that timeout. Now with 15 seconds, you can still work the middle of the field, call a timeout, maybe have a shot at the end zone before you kick the field goal.
Mark Whipple, the offensive coordinator of the Pitt Panthers, has worked at every level of football. Came to find out back earlier in the season, he and Roddy's dad played at Brown about the same time.
At the same time.
Here's Pickett trying to find a Banacanda. Good open field tackle there by Nate Thompson, and that'll force Pat Narduzzi to burn the timeout with 10 seconds left. Now, here's the problem for Sam Scarton. This field goal try, as Taylor will confirm, will be into the wind. If you're going the other way toward the open end of the horseshoe, you'd have the wind at your back, and Scarton was banking him off the crossbar from 58 with the wind at his back. However, now with 10 seconds left, this would probably be in the neighborhood of 52, 53 yards, and you would be into the wind. That's not an option, I don't think, for Scarton, who, by the way, his longest field goal of the year is 44 against Clemson. And we'll early look at Scarton's work. Well, this is actually, I should say, this is Ben Sauls who was banging him for 58. 90, not 91. So Ben Sauls was launching them. Here's Pickett. Clock running. Kenny going to launch it and overthrow Bradley, but a flag has been thrown. Jaden Bradley is the 6'3" freshman who played at DeMatha in our nation's capital, but is from the Fayetteville, North Carolina area.
Pass interference. Defense, number 33. Automatic, first down.
First penalty of the day on the Blue Devils with 4 seconds left, and now Scarton will come on as Leonard Johnson draws the penalty.
Yeah, and from an overall operation standpoint on defense, you know they're going to try and run an outbreaking route to the sideline. Play hard outside so that you're not inside and having to hold to prevent the guy from getting to the sideline.
41-yard try by Scarton here at the end of the half. Duke has 2 timeouts left if they choose to use them. Scarton's kick is away into the wind. It hangs up, but it's good. On the final play of the half, Pittsburgh has taken an 11-point lead, 30-19, Roddy.
Absolutely have. Pitt off to a slow start. Duke providing some fireworks. Let's go to halftime. Jordan Cornette and the crew.
On Riley or Gunnar Holmberg, we probably will see Riley Leonard here to start the second half of the Blue Devils, but Pitt gets the ball first, and Boy, David Cutcliffe's got to be thinking, hey, wait a second, we got to be able to slow these cats down.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. I mean, you're down a couple scores now coming out of halftime. You have to have a stop here, at least hold Pitt to a field goal if they're able to drive the ball down the field. And if you're able to do that, see what happens on offense. You're going to have to have contributions from all three phases like they did in the first half.
There's the kick. Abanikanda going to let it hit. Panthers are going to start from their 25-yard line, and Taylor's with David Cutcliffe a moment ago.
All right, Coach, a back-and-forth first half against a very good Pitt team. What impressed you about your team's first half?
Well, I mean, the fight and all phases really helping. The kickoff return was huge, but our defense has competed. Our offense really started fast. We left 14 points on this field. The thing we got into is we got 5 sacks. We can't have tackles for loss. We said from the get-go, keep the chains normal, run the ball, throw the RPOs, and we got a shot. And we've got to get back in that rhythm. And the defense has got to just grab stops wherever you can. They're really good. And then let's force a turnover or two and see what happens.
There you go. Thank you, Coach.
All right, 7 yards for Pickett on first down. Taylor, we got any kind of confirmation now on Gunnar Holmberg?
Yeah, guys, I asked Coach Cutcliffe after that interview. He said he does not expect Holmberg to return. They're actually getting x-rays done. They think it's either his rib or his clavicle. Coach said he does not expect him. It's not definitive, but don't expect to see him back out here today, guys.
All right, thanks very much. Abanikanda had the door shut on second down, so third and short coming up for a Pittsburgh team that in the first half was 4 of 7. Shaka Hayward was the guy who led the charge for that Blue Devil defense there, Rob.
And with Gunnar Holmberg's return doubtful at best, it becomes even more important that you contribute in all different facets of the football game. It starts by getting stops.
And Pickett throws complete to Addison for the third down conversion, and Jordan will be pushed out near the 45, 47-yard line. Mausi, the linebacker, on a 15-yard throw and catch.
And tackling is so huge when you're against a guy like Jordan Addison. You get Jalen Alexander closing down, just not able to get through, or not able to get Addison on the ground.
So first and 10, and Abanikanda trying to sort things out in front of him, and looked like Gary Smith was able to kind of clog things up, and then R.J. Oben finished him off.
R.J. Oben's had a pretty nice day. He had
Yes,
a
he
strip
has.
sack earlier. He's been very active and involved, and the key is when you get the pressure on Kenny Pickett, having help around that entire defensive line working together to corral him in the pocket.
Bartholomew, the tight end, in that pistol package with Pickett and Abanikanda. Kenny going to fire a dart for Jared Wayne, who spins back 35 and taken out near the 31 by Alexander. Another strong throw by Kenny Pickett, Roddy.
Another weak tackle by the Duke defense as well. This time Leonard Johnson after the delivery by Pickett. Jared Wayne, a big, strong guy, coming back inside. Johnson not able to get him on the ground, and you get about 15 to 20 yards extra after that reception.
Well, Jared Wayne came into the ball game with 14 catches in his last 3 games, and he and Addison have been at it again here today with touchdown grabs, and now Gavin Bartholomew, touchdown.
This is just a fantastic play design by Mark Whipple, giving Kenny Pickett an easy read, easy throw. They've gone tackle over so much with Carter Warren next to Matt Gonsalves on the right side. You've got the tight end in the tackle position to the left side. You roll a little bit. They always do those half rolls to the right when they do that, but that time Bartholomew sneaks back. You've got blockers out front and a touchdown.
6 plays, 75 yards. 2.5 minutes. Kenny Pickett's thrown for nearly 350 now. Roddy Escartin adds the point.
We talked to the Pitt coaches first game of the year, said, who are you excited about? They said Gavin Bartholomew. He's one of the strongest tight ends on the team, and this time shows that he's got the moves to get in the end zone as well.
Everybody has a flashlight.
3 for 347 and 3 scores, and he's also had a 22-yard touchdown run. So now you see he's within earshot now, the Alex Van Pelt mark, 11,267 career passing yards.
We kind of had a discussion earlier in the week of would he hit it this week, and you know the answer was almost certainly no, but He's got a shot.
Yep. Jalen Stinson, who's run one back already today. But let's recap the third TD pass of the day for Two Gloves Kenny.
So Kevin Bartholomew just kind of hangs out in the backfield in that H-back position. They drag Lucas Kroll across the field to clear out one defender on that left side. Jared Wayne takes care of the other, and Gavin Bartholomew with a wide lane into the end zone. Looks like we had a penalty on the kickoff.
We did, against the Blue Devils, I believe. So
after the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on Duke number 3. Half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10.
And the Blue Devils, number 3 is Darrell Harding, wide receiver from Winter Garden, Florida. And that will push the Blue Devils back to the 11.
Let's look at the right side of your screen. Darrell Harding comes in. That would
much hits all the marks, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even sure there was embellishment there.
Brandon George, by the way, was the Panther who was shoved, and there's Mateo Durant picking up 3 or 4 on the first carry before the Panthers scheme it up. Deslin Alexander. You see the total yards. Duke had just 7 in the second quarter after a 200-yard first period of play. And here's Riley Leonard now keeping it, and this is what we saw a little bit of last week in Winston-Salem, Roddy. The more pronounced read plays. Eric Hallett to stop.
Yeah, he's going to be more involved in the run game than Gunnar Holmberg was. And in those second quarter numbers, I mean, David Cutcliffe mentioned the sacks. The sacks a massive part of it. He lost about 25 yards in sacks on one possession.
Leonard going to take the shot from Pancole, and actually the closest guy there was Quez Williams, the cornerback for the Panthers. And Williams going to get some help on Devonshire. Is going to come out to replace Williams in the Pitt secondary as we get ready for second in the full 10 here. Riley Leonard's out of Fairhope, Alabama. Good looking freshman, and that got batted down. Baldonado and Cansey were in the neighborhood. That might have been one of Roddy Jones's preseason favorites, Kalijah Cansey here.
Yeah, love Kalijah Cansey. Able to just maneuver through that offensive line. A couple of good moves, get hands down, getting in the backfield. Now these 3rd and longs, I think you got to find Jake Bobo, get him on like a comeback or a deep out to the field.
Well, they're going to run it with Durant, and Mateo Durant finally taken down by Cam Bright, and 4th down coming.
Here's the thing. I mean, you're down by 18. It's the 4th quarter. It's the 3rd quarter.
Right.
I know there's a lot of time left, and you don't want to completely just say, hey, you know, we're in desperation mode. But you can't put the clamps too much on what the offense is. And on 3rd and long, I know you want to have a conservative play call because you don't want to turn the ball over. But you haven't stopped Pitt consistently on offense in a while.
Porter Wilson hammers one to Jordan Addison, who will signal for the fair catch. Timeout in Durham, 4 minutes gone, second half.
ESPN, home of the color.
For keeping him in the game early with some timely stops, allowing Duke to get inside the 10-yard line. But the fumble and then the stop on the 1-yard line. This is coming after a quarterback sneak failed as well. The interior doing well, and they've been able to get after Gunnar Holmberg. Cam Bright with a sack there, able to maneuver through with another one. He has been fantastic, and then eventually being able to get to Gunnar Holmberg, driving him on the ground. That one was Chase Pine, David Green, and eventually, and that ended up knocking Gunnar Holmberg out of the game. Have not seen him since that last sack.
Now we got a bunch look for the Panthers. 4 going to the kind of to the right, and a little wildcat here with Abanikanda. And Izzy picks out a spot and will pick up, I want to say, about 5 or 6 on 1st down, Roddy.
They've really been working that unbalanced formation. They went with it again there, and then you run a counter, wildcat counter back to the nub side. A lot of looks this Duke defense having to deal with.
Yep. Mark Whipple's been on the whiteboard, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Here's Pickett on a play fake. Going to throw it, and this is Bradley breaking free at the 40. Drives it. Ball popped out. Is that ruled down? Now Jaden Bradley may get ticketed with a fumble here. Duke on a recovery.
1st down.
Looked like Daquan Johnson came up with it. Looked like a bang-bang play at the 46 here.
It's a really good hit. Bradley's up there. Yeah, it looks like by the time he hits the ground, it's out. Was that Mausi that had the hit at the end?
Yep. Dorian Mausi, the linebacker. You betcha.
35. Knocking the ball out and jumping on. I was just about to comment on how good Jaden Bradley looks.
Yeah.
Just as a receiver, big, long guy, fluid, moving down the field. It still looks great. He just got a hold on the ball.
Daquan Johnson, the recovery. Here's Riley Leonard, plus field territory at the 45. And Leonard takes off around the edge to the boundary side. Picks up about 9 on the play.
Leonard's got a little juice to him.
Yeah, and I think this is a guy who, you know, at 6'4", 205, the passing reps, you know, 50-some percent, 55% coming in, but the physical presence and kind of what Duke has done in the past with the combination of running and throwing from the quarterback, Roddy, I think that's probably why they're excited to see what Riley Leonard has in extended looks. And unfortunately, because of the Holmberg injury and the extent of it, we may get to see that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this offense goes. You know, David Cutcliffe's been here so long. We've kind of seen how the offense can operate under multiple types of quarterback. This is a true freshman with some running ability. How much of the passing game is available, we don't know. So I think the offense will look a lot like it did with Thomas Sirk at its best.
Here's Leonard looping for Durant, and in coverage with him was Servassier Dennis. And the incomplete pass will bring up second down here.
I like the call, though, because you want to give Riley Leonard looks in the pass game that, number one, he's comfortable with, and two, if he hasn't repped as much, it's really a one-read throw. You know where you're going with the football unless it doesn't look right.
Yep. Here's Durant trying to sweep into the boundary side, and a good tackle in traffic there. And Talandier made the stop for Pittsburgh, Taylor.
Guys, keep in mind, Riley Leonard was 4th string quarterback at the start of preseason camp and worked his way up to the backup role. I was told it had a lot to do with his run ability and how coachable he is. He spends a lot of time with Holmberg, really trying to stay prepared for this moment.
And there's Dalmolin making the catch. Duke will keep the drive alive. Well, Roddy and I were here for the spring showcase, and we saw Luka Diamond, Roddy, and to be honest with you, Riley Leonard passed him in the process too this past fall in the camp, and has moved up into that backup spot. We're seeing it here today as Durant picks up about 8 on first down. Howlett the stop on another Leonard completion.
And when you're a young player, every single piece of success that you have in the game boosts your confidence just a little bit more. So you're starting to see him string together plays here.
Riley Leonard using Mateo Durant here on 2nd and short. It'll be 3rd and about 2.5 after John Morgan made the stop.
I'm not sure if that was a read play or not. It looked like it, but if it was, he missed the read. He should have pulled it because he had a blocker out front. Dalmolin leading around that left side. Probably would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, Devin Danielson shaking up on the play. We get a break in the action. This first half, so Riley Leonard's ball game here as we're in quarter number 3, and you see the 2 of 6 throwing, 4 carries, but looks pretty calm and cool and collected here, Roddy, at least in this possession. He's thrown to Dalmolin for a first down, and now 3rd and roughly 3 here for the Blue Devils after Danielson was helped from the field. See Waters in the backfield with it. And this is Leonard trying to keep it to the left side, and Pitt rallies. There's Cansey, number 8 in the white.
Well, Pitt had a pretty good beat on what Duke was going to try. They slanted the front to the side that Duke's trying to run the ball, and Elijah Cansey just was able to get through. See him splitting 2 defenders. He wasn't the only guy there. He had, I think that was Patrician or maybe Brandon George coming through there as well. Yeah, it was 30, Brandon George.
31-yard try after the fumble for Charlie Ham. He hit earlier from 46. And the kick by Charlie Ham is good. 7:34 to go. here in the third period, and Ham's field goal brings us to a new score of 37-22. Well, we said at the top of the broadcast today, Pittsburgh's margin for error is thin after the loss to Miami last Saturday at home. And Pat Narduzzi's team is in an interesting spot here, Roddy, because they play North Carolina on Thursday night at Heinz Field, and then they turn around and play Virginia 2 weeks from today. Now, last night, Boston College, Phil Jurkovec announced as a starter an hour before kickoff. He throws a pick but recovers a fumble on the same play. Pat Garwo 100 yards. Boston College a huge win to snap a 4-game skid.
Yeah, Virginia Tech has to feel like they let that one go. A few missteps, and Phil Jurkovec's return gave him something. Toughness in the run game wasn't perfect, but you're looking at Wake Forest now up 11 on Carolina, and Miami, who's not out of it in the Coastal, trailing Georgia Tech. Miami's knocked off a couple of ranked teams in back-to-back weeks, including this Pitt team last week. So always, never a dull weekend in the ACC.
Jackets wearing the white helmets for the second time this year. The all whites down in South Florida.
White helmets, it's fantastic.
That's not your favorite?
I mean, you know, I'm a fan of tradition, Wes. It's my school. I want to turn on the TV, see the gold hats. That's all I want to say.
All right.
That's all I'll say.
Okay. You haven't seen the gold hats recently?
No, the gold hats have appeared a lot, but it's still like that's, you know, Notre Dame doesn't not wear the gold.
How about these classic looks today?
Exactly. Pitt doesn't mix it up.
I'll tell you what I like about Pittsburgh this year.
Beautiful helmets.
They've gone back to the stickers on the helmet like the old days. And Coach Majors and Coach Sherrill had those Panther teams going. There's Rodney Hammond around the corner. You want to see some stickers? Look at number 8's helmet.
Love the stickers. Love the stickers on the helmet. Love a good helmet sticker.
Kenny Pickett's going to have them all over.
Do you think they double up once? Is it like one for every touchdown pass?
I don't know. Here's Pickett, though. Now in trouble, and the Blue Devils are going to get there. Dwayne Carter, who has had an outstanding sophomore campaign this year from Pickerington, Ohio. In fact, Ben Albert, the defensive line coach and co-coordinator yesterday, said he has exceeded our expectations in this season.
It's a good job of retracing, but that one's on the defensive backfield. They caused that sack.
First sack of the day for the Blue Devils. You see Addison on a reroute. Pickett going to get it to him in space. Here's Jordan. It'll be a first down, and Leonard Johnson takes him out at the Panthers' 42-yard line, 43-yard line. Roddy, we saw it work. We saw him go through the motion of it earlier. That time they connect on it.
Yeah, look, it's man-to-man coverage. You've got the defender going across the field, and then when Jordan Addison comes back, he just loses Jalen Stinson, who's nowhere to be found.
First and 10, and here is Rodney Hammond. And he will pick up a first down into Blue Devil territory at the 47 before Daquan Johnson makes the stop.
It's a really nice run by Rodney Hammond. He's going to the left, cuts back to the right. You make the safety miss. Not quite a full man-made miss. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Should have thought about that before it came out of my mouth.
Ball at the 47. Pickett and the Panthers marching with 6 minutes to play in the third, and a laser that is caught on a knee by Shockey Jacques-Louis at the 39.
Kenny Pickett on the run, his ability to throw the ball, especially going to his right. Typically when you see Pickett scramble, it's going to be out towards his right. That's his preferred way. But his ability to throw when he's doing that is underrated.
Here's Pickett. Now maneuvering through the pocket. He'll keep it. Kenny on the run. He will start the slide at the 21. Another Panther first down. Smart play by the senior from New Jersey.
Smart play to tuck it and run, and then smart play to get down early. We've seen so many quarterbacks slide late and put it in the hands of the defender to pull up, and then watch this. How cool is that? I always love that in baseball where you're able to slide into the bag and pop right up. Like, yeah, I planned that.
Here's Pickett on the straight drop. First down look. Kenny spins out. Now buys time and will throw it out of bounds. Now, Roddy, how smart is that by number 8? In the sense of you knew you were running out of time, right? The angles were also being closed.
Yeah, it's he's doing a lot there. By going up, spinning out, getting out of the pocket. I actually thought he had Jared Wayne downfield early on. But was kind of looking the other way. but a wise dump out of bounds for Kenny Pickett. Good coverage again on the back end though by Duke.
So here is Pickett on 2nd and 10, and Rodney Hammond into the secondary, and Hammond tripped up and tackled inside the 5 at the 2. 1st and goal coming up on the Stinson play.
You know, I wanted to go down on the field and see Rodney Hammond. He's listed at 175 pounds, but a thick lower half. You can see the explosiveness. He did make the safety miss there. Got to get them legs up, big fella. Get in the end zone.
So Hammond, who's got 3 scores on the year, Pickett going to throw on the perimeter. Here's Addison, and he will score easily for the Panthers.
Against teams that play a lot of man coverage, this is a play that you need to have in. And you got to have the right type of guy to do it. You're going to get that orb in motion, and then he returns to the same side. We used to call it twirl in the triple option, but Jalen Stinson not able to keep up, and Jordan Addison an easy touchdown.
Kenny Pickett responsible now for 5 touchdowns today, a 22-yard run, and 4 more touchdown passes. 2 of them to Jordan Addison. And the point after by Scarton. 9 plays, 75 yards in under 3 minutes. And Pickett is thrown for 384 and 3 today, Roddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's tracking down the top of that leaderboard. Just going to look at the remaining schedule. Going to be a short turnaround for Pitt. They get the Thursday night game against North Carolina, and then Virginia and at Syracuse. And look, those are 2 teams, really 3 teams, that are playing pretty well. Carolina always dangerous, but Virginia offensively is always a problem. And Syracuse, one of the best defenses in the league there, resides in Central New York with the Syracuse Orange. And also maybe the best player in the conference, Sean Tucker. I said maybe, Pitt fans, calm down.
So Pickett is scored from 22 yards out. He has thrown today to Wayne, Addison, Bartholomew, and Addison again. And now with 4:36 to play, they've doubled the number on Duke. Higgins is deep to return the kick for the Blue Devils. We saw Samir Higgins last week in Winston-Salem, and he will get across the 30. By the way, they're scoring the Addison touchdown as a 2-yard run, not a pass, Roddy.
Not helping my man out in his trek to catch Alex Van Pelt. Let's do some quick math. 152 yards left. 153 to set the record. He's in striking distance. I mean, we have 19 minutes left to play.
Yep.
That could be 2 drives for Kenny Pickett.
Yep. Point there. You see the redshirt junior Nick Patty sitting next to Pickett. Golfing buddies in the offseason, apparently.
I'm sure. Nick Patty, the best one of the group, right?
That's what we've been told. Davis Bevel from Greenville, South Carolina, also in the mix too. There's a flag on the play as Bobo was the intended receiver.
Yeah, they just need one more, Wes, for the foursome. You could hop in there, although I think Nick Patty may take it to you.
That's Bevel wearing the red hat.
Eligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 71.
Veteran move sitting at the end of the bench, by the way. That's what most of the starters and the pros do. They sit on the end. Yep.
Actually, I think it may be Joey Yellen that was the best of the group. Spent some time out in Arizona. There's Yellen with the red hat.
Yep.
As well, standing up. Sorry, you're out of the foursome now.
That's okay. Probably would end up paying the debt at the end anyway, given their track record of playing. And there's Phil Campbell taking Leonard out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Just ahead of 4 minutes to go, and when Holmberg got injured, Riley Leonard's afternoon was well underway. And here is Durant, who went over 1,000 yards in the first half today. First back in David Cutcliffe's era to do that. Another stop by Phil Campbell. Don't forget the ACC Fall Championships continue tomorrow. Field hockey set for noon. Men's soccer quarterfinals follow that from 2 until 10, and then on Wednesday we'll move into the semifinal bracket in men's soccer. All the fall championships are right here on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. There's Leonard keeping for the first down near the 44 and banged out of bounds there. Looked like Chris Maloney got the stop for Pittsburgh.
There's a lot of people around the Duke program that were excited about seeing what Riley Leonard could do, and he avoids the blitz. It's a nice job of that. Makes a man miss in the open field. Servassier Dennis.
And here's Leonard now shooting for Bobo and almost intercepted by MJ Devonshire. Wow. Whoa, Roddy.
I was ready to do it. Devonshire gets a hand on it, stops it, and almost brings it down. Honestly, if Bobo's not grabbing that left arm, I'm not sure he doesn't come down with it.
2nd and 10 for Leonard and the Blue Devils. And a little delay, and here goes Durant, but Servassier Dennis grabs him by the waist and pulls him down shy of midfield. Good look at the young man from Syracuse, New York. Servassier Dennis.
One of the biggest playmakers in the entire league. A guy that, honestly, if he played every snap, maybe a Player of the Year candidate in the conference, but there's such a rotation with these Pitt linebackers that he's out.
Leonard and Pancol the catch. And there's Devonshire, and that'll be a first down on the hold by. Great catch by Pancol in traffic. This is some kind of grab by Eli Pancol, Roddy.
It's a really nice job of hanging on to the ball by Eli Pancol. That's a tough thing when you catch the ball in your hands and you got a defender hanging on you, trying to pull your hands off the ball. Got to really focus on squeezing, and he did it there.
Yep. Leonard, before the traffic gets there, to Durant, and look at Pittsburgh fly around. Phil Campbell takes Mateo Durant down behind the line. It'll be a loss of almost 5 back to the 48.
Seemed like the yellow hats closed quickly on Mateo Durant. You said it, flying around. It was almost a blur. He was surrounded.
Jordan Waters is coming to the ball game to spell Durant. Here's Leonard. He's going to keep it against the blitz. The flags are thrown everywhere, and I think we're going to have a hold on Jack Wollaball. Middle of the Duke offensive line, I think, is guilty of the hold. Maybe the pivot.
Holding, offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty.
That is Wollaball. 5th-year senior from Akron, Ohio. Originally at Ohio State.
I got to give a shout out to our to the umpire Tom Laverty and our center judge Jeff McEnany. They basically landed those 2 flags at the exact same place. It was pinpoint flag throwing.
Well, Laverty's been there a while. He knows how to throw it.
Yeah, there you go.
He threw him against you. Here's a long throw, Leonard, and batted away incomplete. And here comes a pass interference call on Javante Royal. He and Jarrett Garner were hand fighting right around the 30-yard line. This is pass interference on Royal.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's on Javante Royal. Here's Leonard's look again.
And I don't think there can be much argument there. I mean, he's holding the upfield shoulder, and then watch the windup by the back judge.
Oh, it's good. It's really good.
He's just out of the frame of the camera, but he takes out the flag, winds up, and throws it about 20 yards into the wind.
He almost went Juan Marichal on the windup.
Right. Yeah, crow hop and everything.
Deslin Alexander, the tackle on Waters.
I just want you to know the Juan Marichal thing went over my head.
Those that know, know. Those that don't need to know. There'll be people that know exactly what I mean when I said he went Juan Marichal.
And there'll be people that'll be relieved to hear that I didn't know.
That's exactly right. I'm just drawing the demographic lines here in the third and the final minute. 22-point lead for Pittsburgh, and the Panthers slow getting guys on and off.
You get these opportunities.
They have to be held because Duke subbed here.
Yeah, you get these opportunities to sub, and you know, we've seen defenses take their time getting off the field. Third short may get a run here with Leonard. Yep,
sure do. Riley Leonard will keep, and I think have it at the 33. I think Pitt had 11 on there. It was a push. They had 10 for a long time, though.
Yeah, they did. You know, guys meandering on and off.
Yep.
Lose the count a little bit. Be interesting to see if Duke takes us to the fourth quarter. It looks like they're going to have to.
Yep. 3 quarters in the books. Here it was. I was on my way to see Texas play, and I got this hoodie.
Or what had happened was he was born in a time where Steelers winning the Super Bowl, Texas is winning national championships. Hey, I'll pick those 2 teams. Definitely a Yankees fan.
Here is Riley Leonard. Cansey gives chase. Leonard puts it up. Calhoun, did he get a foot down? No. Here's the call on the field inside the 10. Oh, Jalen Calhoun thinks he might have toe tapped it.
I thought he might have too. Official had a pretty good look at it. No.
Nope.
Right on the line. Great call.
Well done.
Great call by the official.
Second in the full 10 as we go to quarter 4.
Oh, I don't know. That right foot may have been down.
Well, we're going to look at it. With Roddy Jones, Taylor Davis, West Durham. Speaking to you from Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham.
Ball control. I think that toe is down there. If we can run it, we'll see it come off and then maybe go back. I don't think the left foot is down yet, but that right foot was on the ground at some point during that. The question is how close is it to hitting his hands and him having control of it?
Take a break. We go under review here in Durham. Panthers by 22.
Fuel your grind with Gatorade's proof.
We got Roddy Jones.
Jalen Calhoun did an excellent job. Watch the right foot. It's in bounds when that ball is in his hands, and he has control of it all the way, so it ends up being a catch down the field. And quite honestly, an open and shut case. There was never any doubt.
Thursday night, I want you to tell Matt Austin you got it right. When you and Barry have the heels and the Panthers from Heinz Field. First and goal at the 8, Mateo Durant. And he will pick up 2 to the 6, maybe 2.5, as we're in the first 30 seconds of quarter 4. Pittsburgh has won the last 5 and 9 of 10 from the Blue Devils. And here today, they trying to keep their lead in the Coastal. Virginia on a bye week before Cavaliers return to action next week. And in 2 weeks from today, Virginia and Pittsburgh play. Here's Durant, and he ran right into Cansey. That's 2 pretty good hombres tangling right there, Roddy.
Yeah, I'd say so. And look, you can poke holes in what this Pitt defense has done today, especially early on, but inside the 5-yard line, inside the 10 and the 5, they've been excellent so far today, and now have the Blue Devils 3rd and goal from the 5.
14th play of the drive here. Leonard takes the snap. Wanted to go to Durant, flips it to him, and through traffic, Mateo Durant scores.
Mateo Durant able to get open. It looked like there was some sort of pick on Chase Pine. Watch coming in. Yeah, Pine's got to work through, and then the deflection. It should have been offensive pass interference. It really should have been on Chase Pine, but nonetheless, Duke gets the touchdown.
Riley Leonard throws his first touchdown pass of the year. Actually, Charlie Ham for the point.
I think if that ball had been thrown earlier, it likely would have been offensive pass interference, but
Chris Maloney looks like he got a hand on it here, Roddy.
He did. It goes right through the hands of Maloney into the hands of Mateo Durant, who gets a block downfield. Blue Devils on the board.
refresh at Subway.
Welcome back to Durham. 15-point lead in the beautiful Duke Gardens as we rejoin you from Wallace Wade Stadium at Brooks Field on a pretty chilly and windy Saturday afternoon, the first Saturday of November. Duke Gardens are very nice, Roddy.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone who visits is very impressed with them. Almost had an opportunity to go yesterday. A little crunch for time, though, so I'll take on too.
Maybe next visit. Here's Vincent Davis on the kick return. And he'll drag it out to about the 28-yard line. That's where the Panthers get started.
All right, Wes, tonight at 10:30 Eastern, at the conclusion of Clemson at Louisville, it's the huddle after dark, a term coined by Victoria Durham. The quartet of Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, and Eddie Royal pinch hitting for the coach. We'll be back with complete breakdowns of all 5 ACC games today. The huddle right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Nice shout out to the creator of Huddle After Dark there, Miss Vicky Durham.
By the way, congratulations to Mark Richt being honored today by the athletics department at the University of Georgia. Vincent Davis, nothing on first down here. Coach is in Athens with his wife, Catherine.
Very kind of University of Georgia to do that for Coach Richt. It meant so much, and as a guy who grew up in Atlanta, obviously the University of Georgia dominates the conversation a lot in the state of Georgia, and Mark Richt was a fixture of that conversation.
Kenny Pickett dropped by Jordan Addison, and that would have made Pickett the all-time career passing yards leader ahead of Alex Van Pelt. So it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Slings it downfield, just off the fingertips.
That would have put Addison over 1,000 too, I think.
Yeah.
He's over 1,000 already in the season. Here's Pickett, 3rd and the full 10. Kenny dancing to his right, throws, and Shockey Jock Louis and then Jared Wayne were there, and so was Jamark Woods. And Pittsburgh goes 3 and out. That's a pretty rare occurrence here today, especially in the second half.
This one a dangerous decision. He's rolling out to his right, sees Shockey Jock Louis, and decides to sling it back across his body. We had a couple of guys that had an opportunity to get it. Jamark Woods had a chance. Let's see who had a chance after that. It looked like 32. Jalen Alexander had a shot at it as well.
How about that? So here is Chris Dedulu's 2nd punt of the day. And the Aussie going to hang it up. And the fair catch will be called for by Josh Blackwell. Timeout on the field. 2 minutes gone. 4th period in Durham.
On my travels across the country, I came across this house with water dripping from this.
Noon. Number 5 seed Virginia and the 3rd seed North Carolina battle here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Top seed Louisville taken out in the semifinals. So 3 versus 5 there tomorrow.
Number 2 and 4 seeds out too.
Here is Durant. And a couple on first down. We ran this note earlier, Roddy, but it is worth mentioning that Pittsburgh's going to play Thursday night at home, a game you and Matt Berry will have over on ESPN at Heinz Field. And then the Panthers will have basically 9 days before Virginia. And here's Durant again. But we have seen a lot of Pittsburgh injuries here today. Hoy at the right tackle spot. Keyshawn Camp. And I think Taylor said Keyshawn Camp came back, but he was already on crutches, it looked like. His leg looked like it was in a boot or a sleeve, if you will. There's Camp. That doesn't look good in terms of playing Thursday or 2 weeks from today.
The tough thing is when you have these guys leave with those type injuries.
Wow, Leonard will be sacked here. Randy Bates brought everybody in a yellow hat he could get his hands on there.
Again, just about all of them met at Riley Leonard in the backfield. Watch how this pocket collapses. There's pressure up the middle. It's pretty poor protection by Mateo Durant as well, and everybody converges on Riley Leonard.
You were going to say, though, about the injuries.
Yeah, it's tough to get guys who get little nicks that maybe you'd get back in a week. Not saying Keyshawn Camp would be one of those guys, but the ones who get little nicks, it's tough to get them back in 5 days.
Wobbly punt by Wilson. This is into the wind now here in the 4th for Duke. And that will roll out of bounds near the 39 of Pittsburgh. Taylor, Roddy, we did this late first half. We talked about the 4 guys who are probably the strongest contenders for Player of the Year. Now, Roddy submitted Sam Hartman, Kenny Pickett, and Sean Tucker. But Taylor, you've got same guys, different order here, right?
Well, I actually have Sam Hartman, Kenny Pickett, and Brennan Armstrong. I don't have Tucker. Tucker right outside for me. I know Roddy's leading that charge, but I just think it's Sam Hartman, guys. I mean, after seeing him last week, that offense, how unique it is and how well he fits into it. I mean, he's such a key piece to that puzzle, and the way 4 touchdowns today, I'm being told. I mean, this guy just makes it go, and I don't think you can overlook how impressive he's been in all facets of their very unique offense. I've just been very impressed.
The thing for me, Taylor, and I agree with you, the reason I put Hartman at the top above Kenny Pickett, when you have guys who have had outstanding seasons, and we have a few of them, Pickett, Hartman, you look at Brennan Armstrong, one guy's team's undefeated. And that guy's being on an undefeated team has to mean something, even when it comes to these individual awards. So when you're splitting hairs like we are, right now for me it's Hartman because his team's got the 0 in the loss column.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked at Pickett's full body of work here, and when the stage gets big, his numbers are impressive. And on cue, he hits Jared Wayne, first down and more, out to the Duke 40-yard line. I don't disagree with Sam Hartman, by the way, Tyler. And Brennan Armstrong, yes. The numbers, Roddy, are unbelievable when you look at them just on a stat line, right?
Yeah, they definitely are, and they're exciting. And look, Taylor referenced the fact that I've got Sean Tucker on my list. I think Sean Tucker's in the running for the guy who's been the best in the conference this year.
Right.
Now, Taylor, you mentioned what Hartman's done. We've obviously talked Pickett. Brennan Armstrong, though, I think his ability to lead that offense has been spectacular this year.
I also think what you take into consideration looking around the ACC right now, this has been kind of the year of the quarterbacks. And so you look at this thing and how effectively they lead their respective offenses against all these powerful ACC defenses. I just think these 3 guys really stand out. They're doing a great job. And honestly, for a couple of these programs that just continually try to get in the conversation of prominent football programs, that's what we talked about with Wake last week, why the perception isn't that this is a strong football program, and now I think Sam Hartman eliminates that doubt.
Well, Sam Hartman, and you're right about his day. Kenny Pickett's over 400 yards, by the way, for the 5th time in his career. And here is second in the full 10 for Pittsburgh, with Abanikanda now going to get to carry. And Duke rallies pretty quick to the football there, so 3rd and long coming up. Mausi the stop for the Blue Devils.
I just would like to say, Taylor's right when she says it's the year of the quarterback in the ACC, and the quarterback's been great, yada, yada, yada. But the leading rusher in the country is Sean Tucker.
Roddy loves Sean Tucker.
I do.
What's a running back, Taylor? Think about it.
I know. What would we expect, right? I do just want to say one more thing about Kenny Pickett as we see him just miss his receiver there. But I did ask him this week, guys, I had to, about all the conversation around him and these individual accolades. And he said, look, there is a time and place to discuss all of that, and it's when my career is over. So this is a team-minded guy. He wants that championship more than anything.
Well, that's exactly right. He wants a return trip to Charlotte and a headline bowl trip for the Panthers if he can get it. Here is Scarton, and this is going to be 47 for Sam Scarton. It would be his longest of the year, by the way. And the kick from Scarton away, and it is good. Pittsburgh is at 47. And the Panthers continue to drive it forward here in this 4th period of play. And Kenny Pickett sitting on the bench now with an 18-point lead, and he's our MVP of the game, brought to you by Sport Clips, Ronnie.
Well, interception, or excuse me, the fumble aside, he has been absolutely fantastic. Jordan Addison has done some damage. Some on the crew voted for Jordan Addison for this MVP award, but he couldn't do it without Kenny Pickett, who did it through the air. He did it with his legs. And then he did it tossing it out to number 3. This one counted as a rushing touchdown, but overall, no better person for the Sport Clips MVP than the hair flip of Kenny Pickett. 405, 3 touchdowns, 57 on the ground. I can't do the math on what that is total yards wise, but I can do the touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns total.
That is 462 of total offense today for Kenny Pickett.
You got to do that math without talking. I was talking while I was trying to do the math. And that was
7 of 7. 7 catches for Addison, 171. And a touchdown. 9:20 to go here in the 4th.
Pittsburgh offense at 593 total yards today. They're high on the season's 598 against UMass. Excuse me, they're high on the season 707 against New Hampshire. But
right.
In Power 5 play, it's 598 against UMass. It may eclipse the 600-yard mark for the 2nd time this year.
Don't forget the the triple header continues. 2 more to follow. NC State at Florida State, 4 o'clock time. Kick time expected from Doak Campbell, and then tonight in primetime presented by Geico, Clemson and Louisville from Cardinal Stadium.
I am interested in that Clemson-Louisville game because Clemson did such a good job last week against Jordan Travis. And Malik Cunningham is so dangerous with his legs, more proficient throwing the football. The Clemson defensive backfield has been really good.
Leonard and intercepted MJ Devonshire. There's a flag thrown on the play as Devonshire goes out of bounds, but it's going to be a holding call against the Panthers.
Devonshire against Jake
Right to the
Bobo.
pass. Holding. Defense, number 19.
I disagree. I mean, he gets his arm around him, but I don't think he's holding him at all. Oh, we got a holding on number 19.
Well, that would be the other side of the field on Javonte Royal.
But it was thrown right by Devonshire. Javonte Royal's not even on the field now.
That's correct.
They meant it on 12.
Yeah, that was Devonshire.
In which case I would disagree.
Here's Leonard, thought about it. Now we'll shoot it to Jarrett Garner, and a flag is thrown from in front of the Duke bench. Quez Williams took him out of bounds.
I think you're going to legal man downfield.
Yep.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We got Jack Wallabaugh, number 50, the center. Downfield on that one. Marks off a nice gain for the Blue Devils.
Under 9 to go as Durant stays in the ball game. Mateo Durant with, oh no, Jalen Coleman is checked in. 22, not 21, as you see Leonard get back to the line of scrimmage.
I think after that play, Jalen Coleman's going to wish Mateo Durant was in the game. He got a head full of Servassier Dennis coming right at him. Got blown up by number 7 coming on the blitz.
By the way, Dennis was joined us a couple of weeks ago in Packer and Durham ahead of the Clemson game. Told us he was recruited by Syracuse, his hometown team, as a quarterback.
Told me he pulled up a chair?
He did pull up a chair and join us, yes. Here is Leonard on the keep, and he will break the 40 as we approach 8 minutes to play. Campbell and Patrician on the stop.
I'd like to see Duke go with a little bit of tempo here. You know, if you're going to get back in this game, it's going to be a big climb. So a little bit more urgency. I'd like to see this Duke offense.
Phil Campbell coming out as Chase Pine checks in for the Panthers. Here's Leonard throwing, and hit as he does by Baldonado or Bam Brima. Talandier was in coverage. And the game just kind of meandering now, Roddy, with 7:43 to play.
Yeah, I think that's a fair description of it.
And Duke's going to go for this. 4th and 4 at its 41.
You have to. There's no choice if you want to get back in this ball game.
Pitt's only allowed 2 conversions on 11 tries. Garner caught it, and it was was then broken up and intercepted by Patrician. It was. Look at this. John Patrician, who had a pick-6 in Atlanta earlier this year against Georgia Tech, comes up with his 3rd interception of the year. Leonard trying to hit Garner, juggled and snatched by 0.
Team, we've waited all year for this. But game day isn't.
Well, the lead is 18, and Duke gave it away on down, so Pittsburgh takes over plus territory, Roddy. The 42-yard line, and Kenny Pickett in the ball game. And the first down give is to Rodney Hammond, who will get about a half dozen to the 36.
Pitt with another offensive lineman down. Excuse me, a tight end this
That's
time.
Bartholomew.
That's Bartholomew.
Sure is.
This game was certainly taking a toll. We've seen Gabe Hoy go down.
We saw Devin Danielson on the defensive line, Keyshawn Camp on the defensive line, and now here's one of the 2 big tight ends, Bartholomew. And hard to tell here.
Bartholomew's been such an integral part of this offense, allowed them to use that 2 tight end set that they like to use so much, but not just as a blocker. I mean, he's been an excellent receiver as well.
Touchdown catch today, started the second half for Pittsburgh.
Good to see him walking off the field, but it's somewhere in the muddle.
Oh, yeah,
he got tied up in the back.
Kenny Pickett's back to the huddle here. Pitt's got this we talked about this with Mark Whipple the other day. As you see Bartholomew headed to the tent on the Pittsburgh sideline, and Rodney Hammond in the pistol as Pickett goes to work, and it'll be Hammond on the carry right into the middle of the Duke defensive line. Now watch Kenny Pickett. He's going to take off, and there's this little walk. Here we go. We're going to walk over somewhere between the numbers and the hash mark. And he and Mark Whipple are going to have a conversation. And Roddy, you don't see this anywhere else in college football.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And it's evolved over the course of the years. It used to go all the way to Mark Whipple, and now it's sort of been a little more trust between quarterback and coordinator. Obviously, with the score the way it is, he's not.
And Whip told us this week, Taylor and Roddy, we have a little bit more of a conversation sometimes about one thing or the other. Sometimes it's just the play. Here's Hammond, and I think Rodney Hammond's going to pick up the first down. But I thought it was interesting, Taylor, when he said, every once in a while I'll say, watch the corner blitz or watch a linebacker here, or let's run this. I mean, but it varies in its communication as Duke takes a timeout here, Taylor.
It does, and in its purpose. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Kenny Pickett's coach-like mindset. He said he loves the opportunity to go over and talk to Coach Whipple. It's really a collaborative effort. They talk a lot about what they're seeing, how to adjust, and they don't have to worry about anyone stealing signs, so there's that.
Kenny's not going to know what to do next year when he doesn't have to go to the sideline in the NFL, and he's got the coach in his ear.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and it's funny because Mark Whipple indicated to our colleague Sean McDonough a couple weeks ago he wouldn't mind seeing that in the college game. Roddy, I got to ask you that. I'm a little surprised we haven't gone that far in the college game just yet.
I'm not. I mean, look, with the tempo offense, it's opening it and closing it. You'd have coaches in guys' ears snapping it with 37 seconds left on the clock, telling them throw it to the X. So it's a little bit different in the pros when they disguise so well. And yeah, you may be able to give a player some tips, but with the tempo of the college offenses, I don't think I'd like to see that in college.
Here goes Hammond around the left side out of the Blue Devil timeout. Close to another first down. And another Blue Devil timeout with 6:06 to play. And there's Bartholomew. So while we get a break here, Pittsburgh, and looks like they're going to hang on to their difference in the Coastal, but here's the look at the other two components Virginia idle Notre Dame next Saturday at Charlottesville, then at Pittsburgh on the 20th of November. They finish with the Commonwealth Cup, Roddy.
Yeah, some crucial games down the stretch. That Pitt-Virginia game being the one that stands out in terms of a Coastal Division matchup of two teams that are in it. Virginia certainly will still be in it. Pitt looks like they're going to hold on today. With a win next week, they would still control their own destiny as they met Virginia. But don't count Miami out of it yet. Now, if they drop the game today to Georgia Tech, once you hit 3 losses, you're out of it until proven otherwise. But some meaningful games for the Coastal here in November.
Here is Hammond trying to find a crease, got knocked down after maybe a yard to the 24, so it'll be 3rd and 3 coming up for Pittsburgh. And Owen Drexel, the center, shaking up on the play, but he's okay and back up.
He's back up. I don't know if he's okay. That's one of those where you get up and you're like, I'm fine.
Big Drexel now. And there's a timeout taken. Duke is empty now in the timeout category. Drexel starting today for the 9th time, but elsewise up front. Gabe Hoy started today for the 24th time. Jake Cradle, 24th time. Marcus Minor, 26th time in his college career. Carter Warren is 30 career starts. And you see Matt Gonzalez, redshirt sophomore, they really like at 320, who's come in to replace. Now you get a look at, there's Marcus Minor and Carter Warren. We've seen Carter Warren looks the part, doesn't he? From Patterson, New Jersey. Big 77. Pretty good insurance for Kenny Pickett's blindside, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
That's Bradley in motion. Pickett gonna fake, flip it in the flat. Zelinskas the catch and the first down. Pitt now 8 of 13 on 3rd down, Roddy.
Done a really nice job of dialing some stuff up against this Duke defense. That time you sneak the fullback out in the flat, able to pick up the first down. He's wide open there. Everybody kind of selling out for the run, and
yep.
Pitt's now going to be able to really sit on it as much as they can.
Yep. And Panthers closing in on a 7th win and 4th in ACC play. 1st and 10. Here's Rodney Hammond. Boy, got hit head on at the 10 by Daquan Johnson, who's been very active in the Blue Devils secondary. All right, don't forget, coming up, 4 o'clock Eastern time, we'll send you to Tallahassee for NC State, number 19 in the country, taking on Florida State. Wolfpack need a win to set up a match, a game with Wake Forest for 1st in the Atlantic next week. And then tonight in primetime, off to Louisville for the Tigers and the Cardinals. By the way, Devin Leary, 211 passes without an interception, 3rd best in NC State history.
That's awesome.
That's Shockey Jock Louis in motion. The give will be to Hammond here. Here's a little late Aflac 2.0 for you, Roddy.
Love that.
Who do you think the longest streak of pass attempts without an interception? Tyler, I'll let you even guess here. Longest streak without an interception pass attempt wise in NC State history is?
Oh, it's easy. Go ahead, Taylor. I'll let you go first.
You go ahead, Roddy.
Russell Wilson.
Who's second?
Oh, see, you can't go who's second on me just because I nailed Russell
Devin
Wilson.
Leary is 3rd.
Oh, come on.
I hate when Wes has the card, too.
I don't have the card. I read it this week.
Phillip Rivers.
No. Phillip Rivers is a good guess, but not the answer.
Yeah, he's a little bit too much of a gunslinger. I don't know. I don't know who's second. Mike Lennon.
Mike Lennon's a good guess, not the answer. Here's Rodney Hammond on 3rd down, and now 1st and goal will be coming up. Ryan Finley.
Oh, see, that was a good. That was. I should have gotten that. That's on me. I should have gotten that. That is definitely on me.
Apologies accepted. Thank you very much.
That's a miss on my part.
Yep. See, Taylor Roddy's all hot and bothered because of the Russell Wilson.
Well, I nailed the Russell Wilson.
Right.
You doubled up on me.
I did double up on you, and you got mad about it until you realized you should have gotten it.
You're right.
Pickett is out. Nick Patty is into the ball game. Pitt's got 633 yards today. And Kenny Pickett is going to finish with 416 passing and 57 on the ground. And Rodney Hammond is trying to drive for a touchdown. So Nick Patty, redshirt junior from Hillsdale, New Jersey.
It's an excellent day for Kenny Pickett. The fumble on the strip sack being the only blemish, but other than that, I mean, he's been on top of it. His receivers have actually dropped a couple of passes, or else those numbers could have been even better. But his ability to find Jordan Addison, his ability to beat the man coverage when Duke went zone, the patience, and then using his legs. I mean, he made you pay in just about every single way a quarterback can.
2nd and goal now for the Panthers. We go inside 2.5. Patty from under center. There goes Rodney Hammond into the end zone for the Pittsburgh touchdown. And that'll push Pitt over 50. Eleven plays, 42 yards in just better than 5 minutes, Roddy.
Yeah, Jake Cradle on that right side to kind of create the space for Hammond to dive in. See number 53. There's also number 76, Matt Gonsalves, doing a nice job locking their guys up. And this Pitt offense, and the highest scoring in the land, shows why today.
Scarton's one step and kick for the point. And the Panthers lead it 54-29. Kenny Pickett, Roddy, before you and Matt Berry see him on Thursday night, is going to be 113 yards shy of the all-time passing record in Pittsburgh history.
And if he, as long as nothing crazy happens between right now and that 113th yard, I mean, he will almost certainly set it next week. What a career this guy's had. And we've talked about this a number of times, but Kenny Pickett had an invite to the Senior Bowl waiting for him after last season.
Right.
Had a draftable grade on him at the end of last season. A guy that certainly could have decided to go to the NFL, decides to come back because he trusted the advice that he was getting from his coaches, from Mark Whipple, who's been at that level, from his mentors, Peyton Manning, a guy that he relies on a lot. The information that the scouts gave him, comes out and has an excellent senior season, and he's going to have his name in the discussion as a first-round pick now. So he's kind of the example that you want guys to follow in terms of trusting the information that they're getting and making the right decision for their future.
Well, 3 more touchdowns today gives him 29 on the year. And of course, another win in his 45th career start today. And, you know, Roddy, we talked to Pat Narduzzi about this during the week. The decision to come back has paid a major dividend to him. Here is Nakai. Is this Nakai Montgomery, the lacrosse player on the kick return? No, it is Higgins. Samir Higgins takes it out to about the 35-yard line. That's where Duke will get started with 2:15 to play. But I asked Pat Narduzzi this in our visit. Is Kenny Pickett kind of a poster boy to keep people in school, Roddy, when, you know, they're fringe day 2, day 3 guys in the draft?
Yeah, and he kind of downplayed it a little bit. He said, look, I don't know that it's going to be at nationwide, but in our program, talking about the Pitt Panther program, he thinks that maybe that can help guys who are in that fringe, as you see Luka Diamond getting the carry.
And he'll take off down the far sideline after the fake to Shea Donker. Nate Shea Donker, the transfer from Furman, into the ball game at the running back spot. And it's a run of 38 for Luka Diamond.
Get outside, show the speed up the sideline. We've seen Riley Leonard flash the speed as well.
So Diamond, the young man from Venice Beach, California. And Nate Shea Donker is the grad transfer from Furman, who's into the ball game for the first time. And both teams have kind of emptied their benches here a little bit in this last 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, just hitting on Duke before this game ends. Certainly going to be disappointing. The 5th straight loss for the Blue Devils.
Yep.
0-5 in conference play, and you know, there's going to be some good that they can pull from the first half. The health of Gunnar Holmberg is going to be of massive impact to what this team is able to do. If he's not able to come back, developing around Riley Leonard, it's going to be huge. But this is a team that is really struggling right now on both sides of the ball. I think defensively is probably the more disappointing side.
Right.
Because you thought this defense was going to be able to hold up fairly well this season, but offensively too, they just have not been able to be consistent, particularly down inside the red zone, in the low red zone.
Yeah, the 2 chances early, Roddy. Now you did get the safety, but the misses on those 2 possessions. And there's a throw in the flat. Jared Garner the catch. And that'll be a turnover on downs. Don't forget the huddle will tee you up prior to sending you to Tallahassee for the Wolfpack and the Seminoles. Looks like North Carolina and Wake Forest are working into the 4th quarter in a heck of a ball game. And of course, Georgia Tech Miami as well this afternoon. Craziness in the ACC today. Miami's up 5 in the 4th. Carolina Wake Forest tied in the 4th. Carolina's tied it on a pair of touchdowns by Todd Chandler in quarter 4, Roddy.
Back and forth ball game.
Yep, sure has been. Wake led by as many as, what, 2 scores in the second half, I think?
14.
Yep. And Pittsburgh gonna run a couple plays. And Pat Narduzzi and the Panthers are gonna win their 4th straight ACC road game and equal their best start. They'll go to 7-2, 4-1 in the ACC. It'll be their best start in a regular season, Roddy, since 2009.
And health is going to be the big question coming out of this game. Kenny Pickett obviously has been fantastic, but the number of guys that we've seen go down today, how do they get healthy in 5 days before they welcome North Carolina to town, is going to be the major question. But a great win for Pitt. Look, you control your own destiny, and that means taking care of business when you're supposed to. They certainly were supposed to in this game, and they absolutely did it.
That'll do it. Pat Narduzzi and David Cutcliffe will meet here for a handshake. The Blue Devils fall for the 5th straight time. They're now winless in 5 ACC games. They are 3-6 overall this season, and they're headed to Blacksburg next Saturday to see a Virginia Tech team that was stymied last night in a loss at Boston College. There's Carson Van Lin of Duke, who transferred from Pittsburgh to play a final.